Oh, feels so good to be back with my boys in here. Good morning, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3, The Fan. Spent the day with my other boys yesterday, and then my big boys. It's good to be back with my big boys today. Great to be back, actually. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. He's our executive producer. Good morning, Paulie.
Good morning. Good to have you back.
It's good to be here. Benjamin Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. Good morning, Benjamin.
Welcome back.
Oh, it's good to be back.
I know Disney days can be pretty exhausting. But you know what? Doing the show without you can be pretty exhausting for me and Paul as well. So I think we're all just tired this morning.
We are. Hold on. They need to scream. Somebody said it.
Oh.
Yeah!
I thought you didn't have the energy for
It's the
it.
best I got, my man. So, yeah, well, it was requested. I like to make people happy, as you guys know. Probably to a fault. Probably to a mother effing fault. Boy, there's a little sour taste in my mouth lately. But listen, onward and upward we go. Disneyland was truly, truly incredible yesterday. My boys, Bo and Taylor, they just knocked it out of the park. The theme park. They knocked it out of the park on a scale of 1 to 10. I give them a 9.8.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I'm telling you, dude.
I mean, you're hoping for a 6.
Bro, you're
on
praying.
a situation like that.
You are praying that it's a 6. You're praying. And I'll tell you the other thing, too. You see it a lot. See a lot of husbands and wives out there just getting into it. And I must have seen a dozen of these. The couples, the guys like, will you stop? And then the wife gets after him, and the kids are standing there looking up like, oh, we effed up. This is a bad trip. Nary a crossword was uttered between me, my wife Hannah. The kids were, I mean, honestly, save for like one tiny little mini I want to go home from Bo. That was it. And I'm pretty sure, by the way, that I got caught by a tier 1. I wouldn't even say scolding, but like doing a bit that may have been inappropriate with him. So we were in line and so we had, when you got a little kid like Taylor's 3, we had to go to Toontown. Toontown is a nightmare. You don't want to go over there if you can avoid it. You just don't. There's nothing cool over there.
There's nothing better than when your kids are old enough and they go, we don't need to go to Toontown anymore.
Right, Dad?
Yeah.
We're not going to Toontown, Dad. You're like, oh, all right. Well, excuse me. You used to sit over here and cry and piss your pants, and yeah, now you don't want to go to Toontown. So we're in line for Mickey and Minnie's ride, which is a nightmare. It's a very long line. And Bo's like, I want to go home. And I lean down. I go, hey, you're like the only kid at Disneyland that wants to go home. All right, why don't you relax? I want to go home. And I go, all right, here's what we'll do. When we leave here, I'll go get security. I'm sure they have a room that you can sit and wait in. Yeah. And you sit in the security room, and then we're going to go have a good time. We'll pick you up and we leave. Now, I'm pretty sure.
The empty threat. The empty threat.
I'm pretty sure a tier 1 was there. There was a guy in a Padres hat. He and his wife were looking over at me, and then he gave me like the head nod, and I'm like, how you doing, man? But I'm pretty sure he heard me getting after Bo.
I mean,
which is nothing. I mean,
if I hear that from anybody,
you're
I'm
laughing.
like, that's funny. It's not like, listen here, you little
effer. I'm going to beat the ass out of you.
Yeah, right.
No, dude, never. So I did hear a dad yesterday tell his kid he was going to smack him because he asked for food. I heard that.
Oh.
Bro, you see all kinds out there. I'm telling you, like, it is such a melting pot of people at Disneyland, and it's fascinating people watching. My wife, I highly recommend, if you get the chance to go to Disneyland with someone that suffers from OCD, it is the best experience of your entire life. You could not. She had us so locked in. Okay, we need to head over here because we are on the Fast Pass for this. We walk in, we walk down the Fast Pass line, we get on the ride, it's 3 minutes. I looked at her, I go, you're a wizard, you're a legend. We had our food, we would go to a place, our food would be there. It was legendary, and I go, this is where it really comes in handy. I mean, there was no, like, fly by the seat of our pants. We went bam, bam, bam. We rode all the stuff we wanted to ride. The weather was fantastic. Got a little warm towards the end, but by that time, we were getting our ice cream and splitting town. She absolutely knocked it out of the park, so I really appreciated that. It was a great day. 10 miles. Got 10 miles in at Disneyland. The stroller was a good idea. They're both too big for a stroller, but not at Disneyland. So we pushed that thing around for 10 miles. I felt great at the end of the day, like I got my work in. Food was good. It was great.
Sounds like you had a good vacation day.
It was not a vacation day. That's where I draw the line. That was a personal day. That's not a vacation. That's not a vacation. That is not a vacation.
Did you leave your coworkers alone to do your job without you? That's a vacation day.
I woke up at the same time that I normally do to come here. I was on the road. We were on the road at 5:30. So when you're getting here, I was on the road. It's not a vacation. There was no vacation whatsoever. That was work.
Doesn't mean it's a relaxing vacation day, but I still think it's a vacation day for Woodsy.
Odyssey didn't pay you yesterday.
They did.
Well, yes. You used one of your unlimited vacation days.
Yes, my unlimited vacation. Boy, it was I wouldn't consider it a vacation. It was a day off. I had the day off yesterday. It was not a vacation. A vacation would have been me sitting home watching television by myself in silence. That's a vacation for me these days. But I loved it. I loved every second of it. I really did. And I looked at Hannah at the end of the day and I go, days like this make me want to come back, because it can go so sideways that you're like, we are never, ever coming here again. I'm not going to spend a nickel on these kids. They were elite. And the fact now that Taylor's 40 inches, you can go ride rides. So we rode Rise of the Resistance. We rode Smuggler's Run. Smuggler's Run was great.
Yeah, I haven't been there since they opened Galaxy's Edge.
Have you not?
No, I have not done any of that.
Oh,
It's
Ben,
unbelievable.
Ben, it's like I loved Star Wars when I was a kid, and my kids like it. So you walk through there, and you're like, oh, my God, that's an X-Wing fighter. Like, there's like that they're the Millennium Falcons there. Like, it's crazy to see for our youth, how big Star Wars was. The only thing that bugged me a little bit, and I'll say it, and I'll probably get in trouble for it, the adult Star Wars fans, I get it. I'm technically, I am one. I was a fan when I was a kid. Bro, when you got little kids in the elevator, but you have to push them out of the way so that you can go watch the hologram of Admiral Akbar or whatever, why don't you remember where you are? Like they open these elevator doors and there's a hologram of Admiral Akbar. Welcome to the new recruit. And you're like, oh, cool. And Taylor wants to see, so he starts walking. And then like some 30-year-old dude like barrels up to the front and stands right in front of it. And I'm like, hey, Peter Pan, why don't you back up and let the kids watch? So I that's when I start to get real passive aggressive. Like, you're good. You're 6 feet tall. You're going to be fine. He's 3. He can't see.
First of all, you just did a spot on Admiral Akbar, and I am
Hello.
completely
Welcome to Ben and Woods. Welcome.
That Woods can do an Admiral Akbar voice.
Welcome here. It's Ben Higgins.
Yes.
Relax. Just relax in there.
Disneyland.
It's little kids.
Should mostly be about the kids. I know there are people who are there for like the one time in their life, and they've traveled from Pennsylvania or Germany or Croatia to be there. And this is their one chance, and they want to see everything. They want to maximize it, make the most of it. So I
It's
always...
a trap. It's a trap. Taylor's like, I can't see. I'm like, I know. You know why? Because that guy can. Bro, like pressed up against the glass, like, oh my God, that's a hologram of Admiral Akbar. You're going to be fine, man. Just relax a little bit. Let the game come to you. These are little kids in here. Hello. Crap. Murdered me. So other than that, it was one of the best days of our lives. I had so much fun. I love my family so much. I just want to give them everything that they want. But that did piss me off a little bit, I will say.
You did bring up a good point that I now realize. There are tier ones everywhere, and that's not a complaint. That's a good thing. You are amazing. But anywhere you go, even out of town now, feels like you're running into tier ones just randomly all over the place. And yesterday, I got a call from my brother. He went to the Padres game, but he went on his own. He didn't have anyone to go with him, so he had an extra ticket, and he didn't want it to go to waste. And I don't know that I would have done this, but he said, I'll just hand it to someone who's going up to buy a ticket.
Sick.
So he's walking into Petco Park. sees a guy who's going up to the ticket window. He says, "Hey, you need a ticket?" Really? Yeah, absolutely. Get good seats. They're behind home plate on the Toyota Terrace level.
So does he have to sit by Sam?
He says, "What can I pay you for it?" He says, "Just enjoy the game. Buy me a beer or something, because you're going to be sitting with the guy."
Yeah.
So they end up, he gets up there, and the guy's sitting there, and they start talking. And the guy's from Fort Wayne, Indiana. He just kind of became a Padres fan. Then, the minor league team's here. Let's start following.
That's cool.
Let's start listening to the games on the radio, Jesse and Tony. And then, apparently getting into a local radio show that is on every morning on that same station.
That's amazing.
And my brother goes, "Oh, you listen to Ben and Woods?" "Oh, yeah, Tier 1 every single day."
Yes.
He goes, I'm Ben's brother. He goes, "Oh, unbelievable." And he starts texting, FaceTiming all his friends. "You won't believe this. I'm at the Padres game with Ben's brother. He gave me a ticket. We're sitting next to each other."
So cool. And Sammy, great job, by the way, of spreading the word and all of that. That's phenomenal. Normally, if somebody offers you a ticket, you would say, "It's a trap! It's a trap!" Guy's going to make me dress up like
What's
Little
the
Bo
catch?
Peep or something.
What's the catch? No catch.
It was great.
Sammy just being a nice guy, and he was rewarded getting to see a Jake Cronenworth grand slam and a great win yesterday.
A phenomenal win. I watched, I was in line for a ride, and I had the game on my phone, and I watched Manny get robbed. And I was like, God, oh. Like, it hurt me to my soul. And I went, oh, this game is going to go awry. Was checking the score throughout. Finally, we left, Benny. By the time we hit Oceanside is when Croney hit the grand slam. And it was like, it was the bunt over the head. It was like a walk or a hit. It was a hit by Profar. Then it was a walk to Tatis, and I'm in the car. I'm driving. Hannah's next to me. She starts biting her nails. I'm biting my nails. I go, come on, Croney, one time. Wham! First pitch after the meeting. Mound visit.
Pitching coach comes out, and whatever he said did not work.
And I am screaming in the car. My kids are dead asleep. It was pretty special. I loved getting a chance to hear Jesse and Scan on the drive back too. So it was cool. Got home just in time to catch the last inning on TV. It was a perfect
day. Great day. I'm glad you had such a good time. Everyone in the chat's going, I didn't even know Ben had a brother. We don't hear about Ben's brother enough. I'm sorry
Sam's
I don't
he's the best.
talk about Sam enough. I probably don't, because he's the Higgins brother that A.J. Preller actually likes.
Yes.
Because they play pickup basketball together.
Yeah, they're like good friends.
I don't think A.J.'s as big of a fan of me
or me.
as he is of Sammy. So.
Should I invite A.J. to play basketball with the Tier
1s
on
yes.
Thursday night? Would that do some goodwill for the show?
It would. I asked him to come out and do the Tier 1 tryout as a bit, and he didn't even respond to that text.
I don't know that he plays baseball, though.
That's
he
true.
plays basketball.
No, somebody just asked me how many Dodger fans did I lock eyes with. The answer is 14,000 at Disneyland yesterday. They wanted to see the World Series trophy.
Only about 12 of them are actually Dodgers fans. The rest of them were just wearing the hat.
There's no question. You can see it in their eyes. You know immediately. Oh, you're visiting L.A. Okay, yeah, you got the hat. They're raking it in, though, bro. They are raking it in.
Yes,
they are raking it in. Everywhere I saw a couple City Connects outside of my kids that were wearing them. Saw a bunch of Padre fans as well, but it was, if you're going to do Dodger fan to Padre fan, it was 500 to 1. I mean, it was like everywhere you turn. And they can't
To be expected.
They can't do the normal, like, I'm just going to wear the lid of my favorite team. It's jersey, full hat, all decked out. So I saw half Lakers, saw a few of those, half Lakers, half. Paulie just put Admiral Akbar in the chat. So good. But no, it was a great day.
It's the worst that we saw. We saw it happen not too long ago. Who were we playing? Who were the Padres playing the Sunday game that we all went to for the biggest fan day? Was that the Cardinals?
Cubbies?
No.
Who the hell
I think
was that?
maybe the Cardinals.
Well, they weren't playing the Dodgers. I know that.
Oh, yeah.
And the second we got up to the 200 level, the first person we saw was wearing Dodgers hat, Dodgers jersey, and all three of us just go,
oh, God.
You're that guy?
Yeah.
Really?
They're all that guy. Buddy.
Toronto.
Yeah. Zero connection.
Wait, because it's blue? Is that it?
No, zero connection. Great day. Great to be back. This feels more like a vacation than that did, but certainly was an awesome day.
All right, we will set the menu for what should be a fairly happy show that includes, I think, a happenstance. Because Adam Jones didn't join us yesterday, we're going to get a chance to talk to him today, and I think it's actually more appropriate to talk to him today than it would have been to chat with him yesterday. So we'll lay out the menu for the show and get you started here on a Throwback Thursday, everybody. Woods is back. We're all together again. Tier 1s, thank you for joining us. Kelly's got traffic and off and running here on a Thursday on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. I have faith that Woods is going to be able to get through today. He's just going to, find that last reserve of energy. But after a 5-hour show today, because we've got our roundtable coming up at 10 o'clock, we're all going to be so cashed tomorrow, it's going to be ridiculous.
Tomorrow's going to be a rough one, and there's no game.
There's no game. No game tonight, day off for the Padres. We are going to be, it's going to be almost silly. You don't want to miss tomorrow.
Yeah, those are the good days.
Reach deep into the well of bits. Let's see.
It could be a flub fest for Ben tomorrow.
Fest. We might need to do the topic wheel.
The wheel of bits is pretty.
Spiritual mouthwash. What else can we do tomorrow?
Everything.
You name it.
Just whatever we've got, break it out for tomorrow on a Friday.
Smorgasbord.
And then by the time Mike Schilt comes around at 9 o'clock tomorrow, I mean, that's about it. That's my focus. Like, just come up with some good questions for the Skip, who is he's going to be a little off the hook. Had they lost 7 in a row going into tomorrow's conversation, would have been a very different tone than bouncing back with 2 straight wins and a series victory over the Cincinnati Reds.
It's a funny job that we have. Came in here on Tuesday. I was pretty hot Tuesday morning and, dropped the hammer on him. And I said, I'll say it again, that was embarrassing. That 5-game stretch or whatever, that was embarrassing. And packed houses and you go out and you just kind of lay down, man. And it was really, really a tough one. Paulie clipped it and tweeted it out, and I heard it again. Anytime I ever go on a podcast, I always have such a great time, and I just speak off the cuff. And then I'm driving home, and I get hit with the clarity. And I go, did I? Oh, crap, I did. So I went back and listened to that clip. I hit him. I mean, I punched him hard and was like, this sucks. This sucks. San Diego deserves better. It's embarrassing. It's pathetic. All that. Went back and listened. I go, all right, man, I have to bring that same heat with Mike Schilt. If they go and roll over and lose this series to the Reds, he is off the hook a little bit, I think. You can't, not going to change those 5 games are a distant memory right now. They are, because you've won 2 straight. But there's certainly things about this team.
Since we talked to him, they're 2-4?
Yeah, since we talked to him last, still 2-4, but you found a way to win that series. You had some big moments in that series and some really nice pitching from 2 guys that you absolutely needed it from.
Yeah, we'll talk about that coming up, but clearly to me the key of the last couple of days, the starting pitching performances. We'll see if they can continue that this weekend against the Arizona Diamondbacks, but we'll have our Padres wrap-up, hear Jesse's highlights of especially the big Grand Slam moment. We'll do that in our next segment coming up. In our 7 o'clock hour, we've got Take on Wood. Well, no, it's a Throwback Thursday. We've got Real or Fake coming up, so a chance to qualify for a trip to Las Vegas. Don't Do This, our regular features. And then, as I said, Adam Jones was having some flight troubles. He was tweeting about it yesterday. British Airways did him wrong. Supposed to take him to Baltimore and ended up taking him to, Washington and then JFK, and finally ended up in Baltimore somehow. I don't know why, but he missed his normal Wednesday hit with us. But it actually worked out pretty well, because yesterday everyone was talking about the Adam Jones moment at the Padres game when Manny Machado was robbed again in almost the same spot that Adam Jones robbed him during the 2017 World Baseball Classic. So we can take a trip down memory lane with AJ when he joins us at 7:35.
One pitch swung on, hit in the air to deep center field. Fairchild back into the right center gap at the wall, leaps up, and he made the catch. Incredible. Took a 3-run homer away from Manny over by that Adam Jones wall in right center field.
Somebody made the very astute point yesterday on Twitter about how good Jesse Agler is at knowing when to inflect and when not to. Because off the bat, that looks, let's be honest, I would like to compare his to Don Orsillo's. And I wonder, because Don will get me 3 to 4 times a game. And I'm like, oh, yes. And then you're like, I think I caught it at the wall. Jesse knows. He knew. You can tell he started to let himself get a little excited, but he looks down, he sees the route, he sees the trajectory, and he goes, he's got a chance, and he caught it. I mean, it was just and I never really thought about it until somebody pointed out on Twitter. Jesse's so good at that. He doesn't get super hyped unless it goes out, and then he gets hyped.
I will say the one thing about yesterday's is, even though he was there, even though Fairchild got there, it's not the play that not everybody makes that play.
No.
Even big leaguers, even all-stars and Gold Glovers.
It was a great catch.
That's a tough one. That's one that even if you touch it and get close, you're like, you must have done something right just to have a chance at that one. To actually make that play the way he did was pretty spectacular.
It's outstanding.
Love that Manny just let it roll off his back, and we will talk about that coming up. Adam Jones will be with us at 7:35. Eno Sarris, it's a Smart Baseball Thursday. He'll join us at 8:35 for our super polished, yet-to-be-named Smart Baseball Weekly segment with the Athletics' Eno Sarris. Reindl Report in our 9 o'clock hour, and then we roll right into the Roundtable Pizza Roundtable with everybody at 10 o'clock today to talk about a tough week that ended with two solid victories over the Cincinnati Reds. And I thought yesterday's even better than the one on Tuesday, which was, they got some bloops. They got some balls that fell in. Yesterday, they just played a solid game top to bottom, came through when they needed to, and we'll go through it when we come back with our Padres Wrap-Up. You ready to go?
Ready to go.
All right, we'll get to the game coming up next. Don't go anywhere. Bennett Woods here on a Thursday morning on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 0000466.
We're already getting into the weeds on a baseball rules discussion from a different game this morning. I'm not sure where we'll work that in, but at some point we've got to have this conversation about the blocking the home plate rules that came into play for the Padres multiple times the last couple of seasons, and we're still confused about them at this point.
Well,
But,
it's not only us.
No, it isn't.
It's Carlos Mendoza. It's umpires. It's New York replay booth.
Major League Baseball.
Major League Baseball. It's Rob Manfred. It goes up and down the chain. We just did get in the weeds a little bit. I showed you the play that happened yesterday in New York. Pete Alonso trying to score on a tag play and was called out. And it was
to end the game.
It was very clearly blocking the plate because the guy you can't have your foot on the base. It's so obvious that he did. And it's such a weird.
But in the old days, it wouldn't have even been a thing. It
No.
would have been noticed.
No,
It's like,
yeah, who
the
cares?
catcher's there, makes the tag, he's out.
He's out or safe.
It would have been clear. Now you're stretching on that rule. Like, well, by the letter of the law, his foot was on home plate, so he was blocking home plate. Even though there was home plate to be touched by Pete Alonso, he was going to be out anyway.
It's tough, man. If you're a catcher these days, you're like, it's a crapshoot because you can block and get away with it. You can not block and get called for it. I mean, it is truly like throwing darts at a board.
Runner on first, maybe even second, but like ball in the gap. You have to, as the catcher, you have to watch the play unfold.
Yes.
You have to direct your infield. You have to be
Move your
ready to
feet.
receive a laser beam coming at you.
Could be a short hop.
And you got to look down. All right, my feet. Am I good? Is this good?
Dude,
Am I
it's
in the
a
right
lot.
spot?
It's a lot.
Oh, and I'm about to get trucked. That's a lot to worry about
It's a lot
in the moment.
It's a lot to worry about. So baseball's got some work to do on that, certainly. But it was interesting stuff yesterday.
All right, Kelly's going to check traffic when we come back. Jesse's highlights of yesterday's 6-2 series-clinching victory over the Cincinnati Reds coming up here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Couple of problems in the North County. Northbound 15 before Via Rancho Parkway. Two-car collision in the center divide. And an accident on the North 5 coastline before the 76. Vehicle went up the right shoulder embankment. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
I love winning, man. I love winning. You hear what I'm saying? It's like better than losing.
Oh, my God, I'm so stiff.
Miss any of the Padres win yesterday? Ben and Woods didn't.
What up, crew?
We've got you covered with all of the highlights.
I like it when the Padres win.
Yeah! Yeah! It's the Padres Wrap-Up, presented by Hamul Casino. With thrilling slots and tables and all the best rewards, Hamul Casino has all the fun you're looking for. Hamul Casino, fun above all else. Yeah!
Give me a do damage.
Do damage!
2-2 pitch, swung on, hit in the air to left field. Pretty well struck. Profar back on the warning track. Merrill's coming as well. At the wall, gonna go. First row, caught by a Reds fan in left center field, and a home run for Spencer Steer, his 4th of the season. A 1 pitch, swung on, hit in the air to deep center field. Fairchild back into the right center gap, at the wall, leaps up, and he made the catch. Incredible. Took a 3-run homer away from Manny, over by that Adam Jones wall in right center field. Runners both get back, but Machado just had 3 more RBIs taken away by Stuart Fairchild. Here's the 1-0. Profar swings, lines it into left center field, a base hit. He's 3 for 3. Merrill has scored. Wade's on his way. Throw to the plate, not even close. And behind the play, Profar into second base. Not only have the Padres tied it, they've gone in front 2-1. 0-1 pitch off the handle, floated down the right field line. That's a fair ball. Going to drop down a base hit. Espinal rounding third. He's going to come in and score. And Candelario, who had the error last inning that led to the 2 Padre runs, collects an RBI single to tie this game 2-2. First pitch swinging in the air, deep to right field, towards the porch. Gonna go! Grand slam, Jake Cronenworth. And the Padres not only break the tie, they get them all home. It's 6-2. Bases empty, 2 down. 2-2 from Suarez. Here's the pitch. It is muscled in the air to center field straight away. Merrill going back. He's got time. Gets to the spot to make the catch, and the ball game is over. A 1-2-3 ninth inning for Robert Suarez. 6 strong from Joe Musgrove, and a game-deciding grand slam for Jake Cronenworth As the Padres win their second straight, they take the series 6-2 over the Reds here this afternoon.
It's tremendous. It was me and Ruben were talking about it right after he was done, like just how that just, I think we can all agree, haven't seen Joe pitch for a while, that just looked like Joe, controlling counts, a lot of sharpness to his pitches, velo up a tick, a lot of life to what he was doing. All pitches effective, putting it where he wanted to, which is, he can put on the clinic pitching-wise. And, the line score doesn't always tell you what it looks like, but it was a pretty good indicator with 9 punch-outs and no walks in 6 innings. So good to see Joe go and do what he did on the heels of doing what Darvish did yesterday.
Yeah, lots of big things, lots of little things to talk about from the 6-2 win, but I think you have to start with Joe Musgrove's performance, his best of the season, and one the Padres really needed on the heels of Yu Darvish coming back and throwing 5 shutout innings on Tuesday. Joe clearly with his best stuff of the year, and even though he gave up that home run in the first inning, he threw well in the first inning, and you could see he actually built confidence. The home run could have taken it away from him. It was a hanging curveball, but every other pitch I thought that I saw early from Joe was very sharp, and I expected him at that point to come back and have a good outing, and he did with a season-high 9 strikeouts, did not walk anybody, which was also huge, only gave up 4 hits. The Reds really didn't have much base traffic or opportunities against Joe Musgrove. That's exactly what the Padres were looking for and will need going forward.
He settled
from Joe.
in incredibly well, but you can't tell me, if you're watching that game and give up another first-inning home run, there's a little part of you at least that goes, oh, God, here we go again.
Yeah, I got the notification on my
again.
phone. I went, God bless, man. Just one clean
He just started.
first.
Here
Man.
we go.
I listened to it was when he came out of the game and they went to, who was first out of the pen? Was it Yuki?
Yuki.
Yeah. And I was listening to Scan really break down, what he thought went well for Joe yesterday. Scan does such a good job analyzing pitching, man. He's so good. And it basically, the gist of it was Joe got back to basics, right? Of, I'm going to throw my fastball. I'm going to throw my four-seamer. I'm going to throw it as hard as I can. Velo got back up to, I think, 95. And the 95, by the way, was on his last fastball of the day. So he went in, he established it, he said, I'm going to throw it. He went back to the slider. He didn't mess around yesterday. He had a plan. He stuck to it. The first inning home run notwithstanding, Benny, went out there and just shoved. 9 Ks, no walks. You take that every single time. Every single time. So 6 strong innings for him. Loved that. Needed it desperately. He needed it for his psyche. We needed it for our psyches. Team needed it for a win. Kept him right in the ball game, and really brilliant performance.
Yeah, ultimately, one solo home run is fine.
Oh,
the home runs have been a problem. That was the 10th he gave up. He's now tied with Michael King for most allowed in all of baseball. You never want to have both guys who lead the league in that category at the same time. But
2 of your starting 5 just duking it out all
but
season.
I will, as a fan, and I'm sure probably if you asked Mike Schilt or Ruben Niebla, they'd rather see your guy give up a solo home run every once in a while than constantly be walking guys and have base traffic and be working in tough situations out of the stretch. A 2-out solo home run once, even twice in a game, is not the biggest deal, is not going to kill you. And Joe didn't let it kill him yesterday, and that was a really great sign. The bullpen was good. Matsui did walk a couple, but
I was so nervous in that little sequence. I was listening.
And that, I believe, I think it was Tony and it was Jesse and Bob who also had the numbers on Matsui, who has not been as good coming back-to-back days on the second day. He's so efficient, you feel like, I'll throw 7 pitches, and he got 4 outs. Let's bring him back the next day. But he hasn't been quite as sharp when they pitch him the second day of back-to-backs.
Day before, 5 outs on 18 pitches. So you, as a manager, I'm sure you check in with him before the game. How you feeling? I feel fine. I got 5 outs on 18 pitches. I feel good. His ERA doubles almost when he goes in the next day. So that's something to keep an eye out on if you're Mike Schilt, and I'm sure he will. But also, Yuki has been great and was able to, even with the walks, was able to
no one put the ball in play against him. I mean, 2 strikeouts, 2 walks.
Exactly. Able to throw a terrible slider and then throw a really, really good slider, find it immediately, gets out. You're praying. He goes 3, and you're like, all right, you got to pull him. And in the in the car was like, he doesn't have it. You got to pull him. And he left him in for one more, and he got the out. So really well done on his part. Good execution. Made it very interesting there for a minute, though. But it was great. And then we don't talk enough about Robert Suarez. I mean, I just don't think he gets enough credit or propers on this show. He has been outstanding this season, and basically unhittable, and not a safe situation yesterday. Comes in, he doesn't care. They were talking about that on the broadcast. Jesse or somebody on TV was saying he doesn't care. He just needs to. He knows he needs to get 3 outs. He's not going to get bogged down with, well, it's not a save, so I'm not as amped up. He's just going to go out and throw his fastball by guys. He's been phenomenal. His ERA is almost nothing. Like, he's just been
0.66.
He's brilliant.
And 12 straight innings without allowing a run.
10 out of 10 in saves or something. He's been brilliant this year. So
he only needed 11 pitches.
Yeah.
Didn't strike anybody out, but the worry is they were all fastballs again.
Mm-hmm.
And you worry that, well, if they know it's coming, they're going to get to it. But even when they make contact, and they make contact 3 times, the best they can do are those kind of fly balls to center. We've seen a couple of them the last couple of days. But, yeah, he's gotten the job done. So pitching was solid. Bullpen did not give up a single hit in 3 innings in relief of Joe Musgrove. But offensively, the story, while Jake Cronenworth hit the grand slam, and it was great, huge moment for Jake. Jurickson Profar is the story offensively now.
Well, my God. 4 for 4. When he came up, I'm listening.
3 hits on Tuesday.
And
4 more yesterday.
It was 8 for 12 in the series or something. That's a dream. So I'm listening in the car. Tyler Wade comes up, tries to bunt, which is fine. Tyler Wade should always bunt, in my opinion. He's fast as hell. He knows how to bunt. He's a good drag bunter. Trying to get on. Bloops it over the pitcher's head, gets on. I mean, that's correct because I was listening.
Correct.
Jurickson comes up on a 3 for 3 day. He tries to lay one down. So I'm screaming in the car, like, stop bunting! You're 3 for 3. Rip! You're hitting, lights out. But apparently that one, Jesse said it should have been a bunt double. Like, if it had kept going fair, it could have been a bunt double. That's how well he placed it. Goes foul at the last second. So immediately I'm in the car and I go, oh, you tried to bunt, dude. There's no way you're getting a knock. 0-2 pitch or something, crack, base hit, 4 for 4. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Tatis, I thought, showed a great deal of patience there. A great deal of patience. You want to do something in that spot. Desperately. The way that he's been going, you desperately want to do something. He didn't. He said, I'll turn it over to the next guy. And Croney comes up and hits the biggest hit so far. Big grand slam. It was amazing. So that's a really solid inning put together late in the game by our Padres, man. It was great.
I love the tweet from AJ Cassavell, who we had on earlier this week, MLB.com. Trading Juan Soto, then telling Jurickson Profar to become Juan Soto was certainly an outside-the-box strategy,
Sure.
But Profar, a $1 million signing at the start of spring training, 3 for 3 today, ended up being 4 for 4, so 8 for 12 in the series, and he's now hitting .342 on the season with an OPS well over 900.
Now, can he
Did you know there's only 2 outfielders in baseball, in all of baseball, who have a better OPS than Jurickson Profar, and he leads the National League in OPS. One of the 2 is Juan Soto, but that's the kind of start that he's off to this season.
This is a good point that Bill says. Is it possible that we can bat Jurickson first and fifth? Because whoever's been the 5-hole this season has been kind of the darkest of dark. Graham Pauly, not a good day in the 5-hole yesterday. Xander moved to the 5-hole. He's not been good. He sat yesterday. Get his head right. I still don't know what you do there. I really don't. Kim wasn't great in the 5-hole.
We'll talk about it in the roundtable. It's one of my topics today,
good.
But it might be time for Donovan Solano to get a chance.
Where is he? Is he alive?
So Mike Schilt said this week that on the off day, he was going to do a deep dive basically into, is Donovan Solano ready?
Mike Schilt's going to do it.
So he's checking in with the coaches at AAA, and he's finding out,
get his ass up here.
Is he ready or is he not ready? But there's a possibility we could see Donovan Solano with the Padres as soon as tomorrow when they open a 3-game series against the Arizona Diamondbacks.
You immediately put him in the 5, right? Like almost immediately.
Seems like that's the next option.
I'm telling you because
Manny will still DH sometimes.
Sure.
And then you're going to need Wade or Eggy or Graham Pauly to play third. One of those guys will probably have to go down when Donovan Solano is activated. I think it has to be Pauly at this point.
It's got to be.
I agree with that. He just hasn't been able to get locked in. I think he's got a lot of promise.
Sure.
He's got hopefully a bright future, but he's not quite ready yet to be producing on the major league level. By the way, it's not easy to be a rookie. Jackson Merrill is 0 for his last, 15 or 16? And while he doesn't look bad at the plate, he's not getting fooled every single time. Those balls that were falling in are now more weak grounders, or he's getting just under them and turning into pop-ups to the outfield and not having the success that he had early in the season. It is tough to be a rookie in Major League Baseball. No one is really immune to that.
It's tough to be an all-star. And they just sent Jose Abreu down to the minors. He had
rookie ball.
I mean, the guy's been an elite hitter at the big league level for several years. A guy, by the way, I think I lobbied for pretty seriously when we were in the market years ago.
Big moments in huge games.
Massive. The guy can't hit anymore. It's not only a rookie. It is veterans. It is guys that have played this game forever that get in a funk and they can't hit anymore. Like, he cannot hit a baseball. He's forgotten. So they're going to send him down. He's going to figure it out.
Last thing, played the highlight earlier. Manny getting robbed of the 3-run home run by Stuart Fairchild in the bottom of the first inning. But Manny looks like he's starting to get locked in. He's going the other way. He's doing what he does when he is starting to heat up.
He's got some confidence.
Would not be surprised to see one of those Manny tears just around the corner. Now, we heard Jesse's call of it, and you commented how Jesse's so good at knowing. Is it a no doubter? Could it be caught? And Jesse was there on that one. He was like getting excited.
Pitch, swung on, hit in the air to deep center field. Fairchild back.
Here we go.
Into the right center gap. At the wall. Leaps up, and he made the catch.
Yep.
Incredible.
Didn't
Took
get
a 3-run homer away from Manny.
Now,
he didn't titillate me too much.
Let's compare this with Don Orsillo and how he saw the same play.
It's one high and deep to right center field. Fairchild going back at the wall, leaps and makes the catch. Brings it back into the yard.
Good job, though. No,
Pretty good.
He had
Pretty
the
good.
anticipation.
It wasn't super misleading.
It was. He was at the wall. There was a moment of uncertainty.
Yeah.
You could hear at
Center field. Fairchild going back at the wall, leaps and makes the catch.
You gotta wait for it to come back.
But you agree, he'll get you 3 times a game. Like, he gets me where I'm like, if I'm on my phone or
I
something
hope
and
that
I
was
hear
a home run and not a deep fly out.
single off the
That was
wall.
actually a routine ground ball from second base.
Bro, I'll be like looking at my phone or something, and I'll hear Don like, yes, no, son of a, got me again. I love that man.
I think
though.
part
video
of it is
going
simply
around.
Don's voice is so powerful.
So powerful,
Yes.
man.
That when he uses any inflection, it immediately grabs your attention, which is fantastic for a broadcaster. But when there is a deep fly ball and he starts to get excited, you just assume, oh, it must be a home run. It's not going to be a home run every single time. He's supposed to get your attention on a deep fly ball.
There was a video going around a couple years ago. Like, I think Dodger fans were trying to troll Padres fans.
Yeah.
It's like Padres broadcasters every time Tatis does anything, and he's catching literally a routine fly ball at short, and then just caught by Fernando. It makes me laugh.
They took the audio from one of his great catches and put it to a routine.
I'm like, if that's making us like feel bad, you're not doing a very good job. That makes me laugh.
That's elite trolling, and it's really funny.
Yes.
I love that video. It's so funny.
Caught by Fernando.
It's brilliant.
We're going to come back,
Don.
play a little real or fake. Also, you missed a great story from Brett Boone, and if any of the Tier 1s missed it,
can't wait to hear
I
this.
want you to hear this about Pedro Martinez when we come back next here on 97.3 The Fan. Padres did jump back into second place in the National League West with the win yesterday. The Giants lost to the Red Sox 6-2. The Diamondbacks were shut out by the Dodgers 8-0. Dodgers rocking Jordan Montgomery for 6 runs in 3 innings. It's not necessarily a major thing to be proud of, to be second in the West right now, as 4 teams have a losing record in the NL West, and the Dodgers, I think, have a 4.5-game lead at this point. But hey, you'd rather be ahead of those teams than behind those teams at this point. So Padres will take today off. They will be back in action tomorrow as they open a 6-game road trip to Phoenix and Chicago. Diamondbacks and Cubs, game 1 tomorrow night in Chase Field. Dylan Cease will be on the mound, but I didn't see this until this morning. Zach Gallen had been the scheduled starter, but he had a rough outing last time, and they're pushing him back, giving him some extra rest. So
fine by me.
Looks like the Diamondbacks are going to be going with
brought a kid up, I think.
A different option. He's made like a couple of starts. I don't know much about him, who will be starting the game tomorrow. But let's see who they got. Slade Cicconi. Cecconi will be pitching apparently for the D-backs tomorrow.
I believe that's Madonna's real last name.
Oh, that's right.
Is that right?
I think something like that.
Yeah.
Very similar.
Yeah.
So, all right, you missed this yesterday when you were at Disneyland. So Brett Boone joined us. And, Paulie, do you remember how we ended up getting into this conversation?
Yeah, there was the big brawl in the Brewers.
It's a good one.
Was it Brewers
Right.
Rays?
Yeah, Brewers Rays.
An actual fight, like
Tuesday
punches
night.
being thrown.
Now, they did slow
Jose
the
Siri,
They did slow the fight down. I watched it later, and it was
Yeah.
2 dudes slapping each other. It was like this. Like,
They tried.
They tried.
John Boy's like, he kind of grazed
him with
the
a pinky.
side of his
Yeah,
arm.
it was fun.
They did hand out 4 suspensions yesterday as part of that brawl, so Major League Baseball taking it seriously. But yeah,
We brought that up, and we're like, Brett, you've been around the game a long time. Like, were you involved in any big brawls? And I think this clip actually has your question in there. But the story that this man told involving one Pedro Martinez, who love him or hate him, the guy was about as elite as a pitcher can be during his time, and he was also a lunatic on the mound. This was Brett Boone late in the show yesterday, if you missed it.
I had a benches clearing, or like a real one, brawl yesterday between the Rays and the Brewers. Not those, baseball, everyone just stands around kind of brawls, but actually some punches thrown. You have any stories for us of real benches clearing brawls that you got involved in during your career?
Wow, man, this is story day. Yeah, I actually got one that I think you'll like. And Pedro Martinez is on the mound. We're in Montreal. This is the early 90s, mid-90s. And he's pitching a perfect game. And I'm watching this, though. I'm hitting behind Reggie Sanders, who was also, Padre. I'm hitting behind Reggie Sanders, and I'm watching how this is. And Pedro's pinpoint this particular day. And he keeps buzzing Reggie's tower and then striking him out with breaking balls. I think he struck him out at least twice, maybe 3 times. And I remember Reggie pointing at him with the bat and saying, I'll tell you what, you throw one more pitch near me, there's going to be a problem. Yeah, I don't think he said that. I think he was a little more verbal than that. But I saw that, okay? I saw that interaction. So fast forward, I don't know if it's the 7th, 8th inning. Pedro's got a perfect game. He hasn't given up a while. Reggie comes to the plate, and the first pitch squares him up in the back. Reggie, if you know Reggie at all, he's one of the kindest men in the world, but he's one of those guys where you go over the line with him, and he snaps. You don't want to be around.
But Pedro didn't want to hit him. He had a perfect game going.
No. 100%. Pedro drilled him on purpose.
Even with a perfect game.
He threw away a perfecto.
Without a doubt. Because on this particular day, believe me, I had to go up there and get in the box. He wasn't missing an inch from where he wanted to throw the ball. So Reggie gives the point of the bat at him, threatens Pedro, and says, you throw one more near me. And then the next pitch, he drills him in the back. And everybody, Ben, they said what you said. No way he possibly did that. It's a perfect. You got to know Pedro. You got to know the history. I came up with Pedro in the minor leagues. Pedro doesn't care. Pedro is one of those guys. He does not give a rat's ass about a perfect game, a no-hitter. If he's going to drill you, he's going to drill you. That was part of his persona. That was part of his ambiance, that the mysteriousness. Pedro could drill you at any time. Without a doubt, he drilled. That was one of the biggest fights I've seen. I was in the middle of it. I wasn't throwing any haymakers. It'd be fun to say that I got bloody. I didn't. I was kind of the, push and shove. Hey, get away from him. Get away, breaking it up. But Pedro, I don't think Reggie ever got to Pedro. I think he was in center field by the time Reggie got to the mound. But that was one of the bigger brawls I was in.
Crazy that he would give up a perfect game just to make a point.
Absolutely. I'll go to my grave. Absolutely no question in my mind. He drilled him on purpose.
Oh, wow.
Love that.
Isn't that great?
That's fantastic.
Isn't that great?
The mayor of Petty. I mean, that is like,
7th, 8th inning.
He doesn't care.
Screw a perfect game.
Yeah, forget a perfect game.
Unbelievable.
Don't ever point your bat at me, man. I've got this ball. I'm going to put it wherever I want it, and I'm going to put it square in your back. I gotta go find that on YouTube. Yeah. That is phenomenal.
There really was nothing like in his absolute peak Pedro.
Nothing.
Randy Johnson was amazing. He was always so nasty, though. But in terms of the control and the nastiness together,
crazy.
Pedro was one of a kind, maybe in baseball.
Yeah, man. Year? Was it 98, 99? He was. Just, let me see here.
And maybe I'm not old enough to have watched Bob Gibson or some of the other surly pitchers of the past, but certainly in my era growing up, Pedro stood out from the rest.
99. From 98 to 2000. 98, he was 19-7 with a 2.89. 99, he went 23-4 with a 2.07 ERA. And then in 2000 with Boston, he went 18-6 with a 1.74.
That is ungodly. I mean, he was one of the and like he said, he would throw that heater up and in, and you're terrified. You're moving your feet. Then he'd throw a changeup down and away. He'd throw a slider down and away, and you're like, I can't do anything with this. You're done.
Yeah, I think Brett said when he was at his absolute best, he had 4+ pitches.
Yeah.
Like good pitchers will have 1, maybe 2 really plus pitches. He had 4, and he could go to him at any time. He could throw you the devastating change, the fastball, one of the best in the business, or he could go in so many different directions that you had almost no chance as a hitter against Pedro in his prime.
That's such a good story.
97 through 2003, he never had an ERA over 3.
That's bananas, man. Bananas.
3 Cy Youngs.
Yeah, he was pretty elite. What a great story from Booney. Incredible.
All right, we need a contestant. Real or fake? It's a Throwback Thursday. Your chance to qualify last couple of days for this month's trip to Las Vegas. It is 2 nights at the Westgate. Tickets to see Kool and the Gang and their residency through 2024. You can check out the Westgate's $70 million in room renovations. Call now 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. You can get your own tickets by going to Ticketmaster.com. See people calling in. Let's get to it. It is time for Real or Fake.
Some are here for the compelling sports talk with Ben and Woods. You can go plow through another donut. It's time for Real or Fake on 97.3 The Fan. Tell the people what they'll win today.
All right, I just told you what you could win today.
Yeah.
I told you exactly what you could win today. Where's my Real or Fake? I sent it to Paulie yesterday. I cannot find it.
You labeled it Take on Woods.
Oh, I did? That's why I can't find it.
But it is Real or Fake.
No wonder. There it is. Thank you, Paulie. In honor of Woods' visit to the Magic Kingdom, we got a Disneyland theme game. Let's go to Andrew. You are a contestant today. Hello, Andrew. How are you?
I'm good, guys. How you doing?
Good, buddy. All right, you need to get 4 of the 7 correct, and you've got Woodsy here to help you, and just separate the real from the fake to try to win the prize. So we're testing your knowledge of Disneyland today. I've got a list of Disney attractions from the past. I'll give you a name. You tell me if it was a real ride or show or display inside the Anaheim theme park or a fake I have made up for today's game. Andrew, are you ready to play?
Let's do it.
All right, round number 1, Disneyland, real or fake? Thomas Jefferson's Democracy Jamboree. What? Real or fake Disney attraction?
Sounds so weird, I'll just say real.
Sounds so weird, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's completely fake. They did have that like Abraham Lincoln thing on Main Street, but no Democracy
that's what
Jamboree.
I was thinking about.
That's all right. That's just one. Let's go to round number 2. The Jolly Trolley. Real or fake?
Oh, yeah.
He likes
Real.
that one. Real.
Yeah, he knows that one.
That was in Woods' favorite area, Toontown. No longer in service. The trolley is defunct. All right, that's one correct. We need 3 more. Round number 3. Hollywood Maxwell's intimate apparel shop.
Man,
real or fake?
What is it with you?
He's such a pervert.
Horn dog.
I mean,
Can't be, right?
I have my thoughts, but what does Woodsy think?
I think there's no way you're going to have an intimate apparel shop at Disneyland. I think
Yeah,
that's
me too.
fairly
All right,
obvious.
let's do it. Fake.
Fake. Paulie? No, back in
Oh
the
my
50s
God.
when it first opened, you could go to
Bull ass.
Disneyland and buy your bras and your unmentionables right there on Main Street at the intimate apparel shop at Disneyland in the 50s.
Holy cow.
All right.
Sorry
SEX.
about that. Yeah,
All right,
SEX.
let's go to round number 4. Videopolis. Real or fake attraction, Andrew?
What was it?
Videopolis.
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 Dang it. Woodsy, what you
No,
got?
I have no idea. It sounds real. It does sound real. But I don't know
That's
anything.
what I'm leaning towards as well.
All right.
Going with
Let's
go
All right,
real.
let's go real.
All right.
Videopolis.
Paulie? Yeah, that was a
Okay.
nighttime dance club aimed at young adults from 1985 to 1995. I don't think I ever went into Videopolis.
No,
I do remember it, though,
before
vaguely.
my time.
All right, that's 2 correct, 2 incorrect. So we'll get down to the last 3. Need 2 out of the last 3 to be right. The Aluminum Hall of Fame. Real or fake Disney attraction? The Aluminum Hall of Fame.
Aluminum Hall of Fame.
Sounds like Wally World.
Let's go. Let's go real.
Interesting. Yes!
No,
First
I would've
5
said
years
fake.
of Disney's existence, you could visit the Aluminum Hall of Fame. All right, that means we just need 1 more correct, and you will be our winner today. Huckleberry Finn's Fishing Pier. Huckleberry Finn's Fishing Pier. Real or fake, Andrew?
I'm thinking real, but what do you think, Woodsy?
Man, I also think it's real. Was on Tom Sawyer Island yesterday. It's very creepy
Did you
over
see
there.
a fishing pier out there?
I feel like I did.
All right. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they
Real.
tell a story about Huckleberry Finn on the rowboats there. So
I feel like he's going to try to trick us, but I'll say real.
Let's go real, yeah.
Real is the answer. And you're correct.
Let's go.
That's a winner. Congratulations, Andrew. Hang on the line. You are into the drawing for Las Vegas. So I have to tell the story that goes with this one because I read about this yesterday. At Huckleberry Finn's Fishing Pier, guests were actually able to rent fishing poles and fish for real catfish, bluegill, river perch, and trout at Catfish Cove. The fish were held in a hidden underwater net pen, and guests could have park staff clean any fish they caught and store them in a refrigerator until they were ready to leave the park. Now, the take-home option, though, was discontinued just weeks after the attraction opened, as many guests chose not to have their fish cleaned and refrigerated, instead taking them into the park and onto the rides in the special fish totes provided by staff for use in
Like the
carrying
Del Mar Fair?
their fish home. Many of these guests ended up abandoning their catch in bushes, trash cans, lockers, etc., which, when combined with the California heat, resulted in the smell of dead, rotting fish wafting across the park.
So you catch your fish, and they're like, we'll clean it for you. You're like, no, I'm carrying this around with me in this special fish bag that you gave me.
I'm
It's a
carrying,
beta fish at
I'm
the
carrying
fair.
my river perch around with
Yeah.
me all day.
Catfish.
To
Big,
Disneyland.
fat
My
catfish.
big old catfish.
Trout.
You take it on Space Mountain.
Yeah.
I mean, holy cow. Bo really wanted to go to Tom Sawyer Island. And it's the first time I've ever been over there. So you get on the raft, you go over there, and then you realize your kids just disappear. And then you realize, I can't see them. I don't know where they are. They're in some cave right now. I don't know who else is in that cave. In fact, I helped a little kid find his parents yesterday because he was lost on Tom Sawyer Island. If you take your kids over there, just be careful. Be mindful. I don't know that there isn't some weirdo creep with his pants down in the caves. You know what I mean? I could not see him. I'm like, oh, Taylor! And they're running around. They're having a ball. But then there's also like creepy dudes over there hanging out. I'm like, where's your kids, bud? I don't see them anywhere. It's very, very creepy over there. So just mind your P's and Q's. keep your eyes peeled.
Kathy says, I worked at Disneyland. I knew nothing about Huckleberry Finn's fishing pier and the stories of the rotting fish.
It is kind of cool, though, to be able to go over and, like, catch a fish, but I would just throw it back. Be like, all right, we caught our catfish.
Yeah, maybe catch and release. That's why
I'm not taking home. What's in the bag? Oh, I just caught some catfish for dinner.
I got some cotton candy. I got the Mickey Mouse ears.
Yeah.
I got this great sweatshirt and this catfish.
Yeah, 4 pound catfish we're gonna have for dinner. It's insane.
Melomel says, I went to Videopolis on grad night.
That's amazing.
What a grad night that would be.
Amazing.
All right. Thank you for playing, Andrew. Hang on the line. Paulie will get all your information. We'll have Don't Do This when we come back. Couple of stories from Don't Do This yesterday that we could get into.
Stephen A. Smith talking baseball is like maybe the worst thing of all time. Also, I feel like I need to walk back all of my Deion Sanders praise that I have heaped upon him over this last year. He really, really soured me this week.
I agree with you.
Terrible.
Bad look for Deion.
Terrible look.
We'll get into that coming up next after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. Don't Do This brought to you by the Craft Taco in Sorrento Valley. The Craft Taco has some of the best quality tacos in all of San Diego. Go to thecrafttaco.com. Take a look at their happy hour specials today. Thecrafttaco.com. We both agree on this one. And you were very excited about the Deion Sanders show last year.
It was very
the
interesting.
Hype for Colorado, the early hot start. Of course, they finished very slowly, ended up going 4-8, missing a bowl game. But, yeah, it changed the culture at Colorado. When he first came in, of course, a lot was made of the fact that there was a lot of turnover. He kind of cleared out the old roster, brought in new players, which, you do have to do to a certain extent. New coach needs new players. Change the athletes, change what you've got going on at the school. Of course, a lot of the players who got, shown the door weren't necessarily too happy about it. And The Athletic this week did a follow-up in a story talking to one of those guys, former Colorado safety Xavier Smith, told The Athletic in a story that Deion Sanders, quote, never even tried to get to know me, and that he was, quote, destroying guys' confidence and belief in themselves, not even giving a chance to some of the old players at Colorado, just saying, we don't need you anymore, enter the portal, we're bringing in new players. I think that's fair. I think it's fair on both sides that this is the reality of college football now. What was completely uncalled for in the Don't Do This is how the Sanders family responded. First, there was Shedeur, Deion's son, quarterback, who posted on social media on X, bro had to be very mid at best, insinuating Smith must be a very average player if he didn't, garner the attention of Deion Sanders. And then Deion took a screenshot of the stats of another player that was Jaheim Ward and said, Lord Jesus, on a tweet that was viewed by like 12 million people. And as a coach,
more than that.
Yeah,
22 million.
Now 22 million now? And that was at the time yesterday. So, as a coach, don't you have to take the high road? I mean, first of all, you were the one who showed these guys the door. And the fact that they're a little salty and bitter and disappointed about it, you have to expect. And the fact that, by the way, those players weren't very good, isn't that also a reflection on you? Aren't you? Your job is to be the coach to all the players, not just the star players, not just the ones that are making you look good. And your kid. And Deion also said, of his own kid, he'll be a top 5 pick. Where's your son going? LOL, I got time today. LOL. That's not what coaching is about.
Yeah, look, we've always said, I've praised him for doing it a little bit differently. And, they show the videos of his pregame speeches, and you do get the sense that he does care for his players. I thought this was a terrible look, though. A terrible look. To be, screenshotting a college kid's stats and sending them out and, kind of mocking them a little bit. I thought that was pretty tired. And again, he needs to apologize. I mean, there are kids that you're going to coach or that you already do coach or whatever that aren't going to be as good as other players. You're not going to mock them. You're not going to mock them on social media, in my opinion, right? That's not a good move.
What determines whether a coach is doing a good job is not how much NIL money you're offering to get the top players. It's how well you develop players that you have.
Men,
how much better they were when they left school than when they got there.
I hated this.
And if Deion doesn't realize that, he's in the wrong profession.
I really hated it. I was really bummed to see it. Now, Shedeur's a kid. He's cocky kid. Look, I saw people going, does he know that NFL, scouts can see his Twitter? Yeah, of course he does. That's such a minor infraction compared to what happens on a lot of campuses. And if that's the worst thing he ever does or says, he'll get humbled. Everybody does. Every athlete. Deion got humbled. He doesn't act like it, but he's been humbled on the football field before. He's been humbled on the baseball field before. I just thought it was a really bad look from a guy that's a head coach. All right, we'll move on. Speaking of bad looks, Stephen A. Smith was talking about Mike Trout yesterday. And again, it's sometimes when Cowherd or Stephen A. Smith. I love Stephen A. I do. I think he's made a really brilliant career for himself, and I've heard him in several interviews. He's a smart guy. This is when
Which makes it tough to know when he's
doing a bit,
doing show business, and being authentic.
But it's you listen to this clip. He's talking about Mike Trout. It was such a bummer. I mean, Mike Trout going down with a tear in his meniscus. We don't know how long he's going to be out. But here's what he had to say about it.
but I've grown disgusted with his lack of availability. It makes me question. I know he looks the part. What the hell are you doing to take care of yourself? Always injured. I mean, damn, it's baseball. I mean, what are you talking about here? It's not football. It's not boxing. It's not the UFC. You're not running up and down the court 94 feet basketball for 82 nights a year. It's baseball. Half the time y'all out standing out in the outfield, chewing on pumpkin seeds or something, waiting for a fly ball to come your way. How the hell is he always hurt? I don't understand this.
He is always hurt.
It drives me nuts when I see baseball players getting hurt. What is it that you're doing with yourself physically that you can't stay healthy? Playing baseball. Now, you get hit by a pitcher, so that's different. I get all of that. But these oblique injuries, you're running around the base and catch a hamstring injury, you're running out for a fly ball and all of a sudden something gets tweaked. What the hell is going on?
There's 162 of those games, plus spring training. Like, go do one session in the batting cage. You're exhausted when it's done. And you do that, 200 times a year at least.
By the way, it's not a hamstring strain.
No, it's a meniscus tear. Right.
There's nothing you can do to strengthen your meniscus.
There's so much starting and stopping in baseball. And Mike Trout hits a single, right? Runs hard down to first, takes his lead, goes first to third, ends up scoring, tagging up. It wears you out. If you don't believe me, go sign up for Padres Fantasy Camp. Just go do it one time. No one ever makes it through the entire week. It's such a grind on your body. Every muscle in your body hurts after you play a game of baseball. It just does. Now do it 162 times, plus spring training, plus all the work you got to put in between. It's a grind. There's no question. And your body breaks down. It also happens with age. He's getting a little bit older, and he's played really hard in his career. I hate that he's hurt too, but I don't think there's anything he could have done better to take care of himself. Certainly. So, just Stephen A.
Plus a little bonus. I know they chew on something, some sort of fall plant, acorns, pumpkin seeds, sunflower, something like that.
Yeah, it's so good.
Some sort of seeds.
This was a good take from C. Trent Rosecrans, who writes for The Athletic. He says, someone brought this to my attention. It's just dumb. This is take culture at its worst. Pretend you know things that you don't. Get upset. Get loud. Never back down. Never learn. Never grow. Never change, ESPN. Nailed it.
Now, has Mike Trout's lack of availability hurt the Angels badly? Of course it has. Of course it has. Do you think he doesn't try to take care of himself? I know he does. Yeah. All right, finally.
Have you seen him? I mean, he's pretty good shape, I'd say.
Do this. My do this
DD
today
mega do
is the possible return of maybe the best sports theme of all time. So the NBA has put up for bidding a new package of games for the future. And apparently NBC is in the running to return to coverage of basketball. They have not had the NBA rights since back to 2002. But when they did, they always had the iconic opening, Round Ball Rock by John Tesh. And there it is. And this week, John Tesh said, if NBC gets the games back, I am more than happy to either relicense or just sell the rights entirely to NBC to get that great music back on NBA basketball coverage. Where it does belong.
Yeah. Where it belongs.
You actually can hear it. Fox has been using it for college basketball games the last couple of seasons. Occasionally the Aztecs will play like on FS1 and you'll hear a little Round Ball Rock, but it's not the same. It only hits the same when it comes for an NBA game. And I love that YouTube video of John Tesh playing it live at Red Rock.
It's your favorite.
It's
you
like
love
my
that.
favorite.
It's his favorite thing.
So good.
The voicemail.
Yeah, the voicemail.
The voicemail one, yeah. And that is Don't and Do This for a Thursday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Adam Jones missed out yesterday due to travel delays, but in the meantime, someone made a very Adam Jones-like catch at Petco Park. It'll allow us to take a little trip down memory lane with the five-time All-Star. He will join us when we come back next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. I believe our next guest finally made it to his destination. No thanks to British Airways. Adam Jones will join us. He is standing by. Let's get to traffic, and then we'll talk to the five-time All-Star next year on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by the Fish Market, serving the freshest catches from waters near, far, and everywhere in between. Several trouble spots here. One of them is a stalled vehicle in middle lanes, North 805 at the 8. Also collision in Santee, West 52 past the 125. Those vehicles are in the center divide. You're going to find a stalled motorcycle northbound 15 before Miramar Way. It's over the right shoulder of the HOV lane, so please take it extra carefully there. Also traveling on the Mission Avenue on-ramp to northbound 5 at collision. Before, after the game, or when they're on the road, join the Fish Market's downtown location for happy hour every Monday through Friday from 3 to 6. Enjoy $2 shuck oysters, appetizer specials, $8 margaritas, and more. The Fish Market's downtown happy hour, Monday through Friday from 3 to 6. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 90.
I'll have to admit, I'm very confused as to what happened to Adam Jones yesterday. As far as I can tell, following his social media, he was flying from Barcelona to Baltimore, and all of a sudden he ended up in Washington and then New York, and finally got to Baltimore. No thanks to British Airways. Good morning, AJ. What happened to you yesterday?
You know what? I just got ran through the system a little bit, and I will be a Medallions member before you know it. Believe that.
What's a Medallions member?
Enough miles?
I don't know, but I think that's you just like maybe get 2 free drinks and some upgrades.
So I've never been a frequent flyer. But my buddy that I played golf with over the weekend, his brother just hit 1 million lifetime miles. They did like a ceremony on the plane for him. He's got like all-time like upgrade status or something.
My dad got that in 1998, and it was just like the biggest deal ever, man. The dude traveled a ton. I don't know how you do it. I'll be honest with you. Like, traveling's fun, but it ain't that fun. You do a lot of it. A lot of it. When are you back here full-time stateside?
It's fun, honestly. It is fun because, seeing the world is unique, so I don't mind it, honestly. It's different traveling with kids. It's better now that my kids are a little bit older. But honestly, I really do like it. But I'll say we come back to the States maybe in a year or so because, dude, Europe right now is amazing. There's a lot of fun going on, and, there's still a lot to see. So I'm not missing nothing here in the United States. You can't tell me I am.
That's true.
I can watch Padres baseball. I can watch the Orioles. I can watch all the TV I need.
That's a really good point. That's a better place to be right now, certainly, man. That's awesome.
Well, this actually worked out really well that she couldn't join us yesterday because in the meantime, Stuart Fairchild of the Cincinnati Reds did a very good Adam Jones impression on Manny Machado yesterday, going over the same wall in center field to rob Manny of a 3-run home run. Everyone, even Jesse in the call, immediately thought of you and the catch in the 2017 World Baseball Classic. I know we talked about it in the past before, but just give us some reflections on that moment for you, that catch, and what it kind of meant to your career, and to take away a home run from a teammate on a big stage like that.
Well, my catch was during the World Baseball Classic, so the difference of it was he wasn't my teammate at the time. It's United States versus Dominican.
Right.
Great play, great situation, but I'm not taking anything away from Fairchild. Wow. I think he probably ran further. Just a great play. And I told Manny, dude, pull the ball, bro. Come on, what are you doing? Stop trying to go that way all the time.
Man,
pull the ball.
If you tell him to pull the ball, that's when he gets in trouble, right?
True, very true.
Good,
no,
good.
And I tweeted out, but he put on an A swing.
Yeah,
so
he did.
That was a great swing. It was a great play. You can't do nothing. It was just a fantastic athletic play. And tip the cap. Who's better? Hey, his counts a little bit different because it's taking away Manny's on the back of his bubblegum card. So I would say his counts in a different way. But unbelievable play.
Now, do you buy Manny Machado after the game saying, "Nah, it doesn't bother me. I rob a lot of guys too at 30." I thought that was a great quote, but man, 3-run homer in that situation feels really, really good, especially when you've been scuffling a little bit. Do you buy the "aw shucks" Manny Machado, or is that just who he is?
Oh man, Manny, he's been around. He knows what's going on. You know what I mean? Again, situation we needed that home run. Obviously, the Crone zone came through in the 6th or 7th with the granny.
Yep.
But, come on. You're going to take a 3-run home run in the first instead of a deep fly out. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it took some point runs off the board, but obviously Manny knows that he put an A swing on that ball, so that you just take that. He's robbed a lot of people. You talk about my play, you talk about other plays. That dude done took a lot of food off people's plates. So he every once in a while to get robbed.
That's true.
Okay.
I played the 2017 highlight on TV last night just to kind of compare it for everybody. And my favorite actually moment is when Manny tips his helmet to you as he's rounding first. Did you see that live, or were you, still out there? Could you tell what he did, or did you see it later?
No, I seen it.
You did see it.
Yeah, I was gaining consciousness a little bit. I was getting out of my blacked out stage, but I seen it and I tipped it right back to him. Great moment. Obviously, the fans. We're doing it in San Diego. I'm a San Diego boy. It's crazy. 2 years later, he ends up in San Diego and keeps hitting the ball to the same spot. And so it was a whole whirlwind of emotions. Because again, it's USA Dominican. It wasn't the Orioles versus any other team. It was USA Dominican. So we wanted to fight.
Yeah, it was. They're both phenomenal. Your moment was a little bit bigger in that, for Team USA. It was, as much as I love Manny, I was pretty hyped on your catch that day. And we're talking to Adam Jones, the man that made that catch here on Ben and Woods this morning. So, what do you make of this Padres team? And I think I got him. I hit him pretty hard after 5 games in a row. It's crazy to see, AJ, and this, man. You go to a lot of different ballparks, like Monday night against it doesn't matter who's in town. The Petco Park is rocking every single week. For them to have such a poor showing at home, I don't know what you can attribute it to. I have no idea, but I do know, and I said these guys got to step up and play a little bit better for their home crowd. What do you make of this team so far this year?
They were at one point 1-10.
1-10
in night home games.
In night home games, crazy.
Yeah, too much arroz con pollo, man. They let them refried beans slowing them down at the crib.
That home cooking.
But first off, I got to give the love to the Padres fans. They've been unbelievable the last 3 years. Just unbelievable. And showing up again on Mondays, Tuesdays, like they show up on days that no one else gets attended. I don't know what you can attribute not playing well at home to. I watch a lot. I get to see a lot of box scores and catch games, and you see 2 or 3 runs, and then you see a big hit and stuff like that. They keep creating opportunities. That's all what I always can go back on, because if you create the opportunities, somebody hopefully is bound to come through. But the last couple games at home they played well. To me, it's about getting series and how many series you can get, and they're doing that. They just have to limit them losing streaks. You can't have 5-6 game losing streaks. You have to 3. Getting swept is if you're trying to be a playoff team, getting swept is not something that happens to you. So I just think that, and they know that it's a long season, it's a grind, and they're gonna be fine to me.
And that's interesting you say that, because limiting the losing streaks is one thing, and one thing that we haven't seen from this team in really a while is the ability to put together 5 games in a row, 6 games in a row. What are the Twins at now? They've won 10 games straight or something like 10. That. Yeah, 10 in a row.
They don't. It's the White Sox and the Angels are all they played. I know there's no bad 10-game losing streaks.
No, there's none. Ben, we played last year the Royals, the Reds.
Let's just pump the brakes on Twins winning 10 in a row just on their opponents.
I don't think you can.
No,
10
you can't.
10 games is 10 games.
Hey,
the White Sox are really bad.
People have given up on the A's, and A's done one. They won 2 series.
The A's aren't bad. No, the A's aren't bad, but the White Sox are.
They're not bad.
Well, they didn't play them 10 games in a row.
7 of the 10 against the White Sox.
You still got to win those games. Do you think the Padres would win 7 of 10?
I'd hope they'd win 7 against the White Sox if they played 7 right now.
Still got to be. Well, and I think my point remains the same. No matter who the opponent is, they have not been able to put together a winning streak of longer than 5 games, and we haven't seen that this year. So
you need that.
Yeah, you got to have it.
Yeah, you gotta have something of 6, 7. A week of winning. Hell, if you want to go to 10, those are things you need. But again, if you continue to scratch out 3, lose 1, scratch out 3, lose 2, just stay ahead of that curve, win series, you'll be in the playoffs. That's just the law of averages. You'll be in the playoffs. So it's taken care of today. I know it's the most cliche crap in the world. It's just, control what you can control today. But that's
true.
the real sentiment of the game. And, again, the Dodgers, I think Major League Baseball thought the Dodgers were going to be, 142 and 20. But
did.
the reality of it is the game is hard. And, everybody's coming out for blood. The Diamondbacks didn't get off to the best start. The Giants haven't got off to the best start. So it's like everything is wide open. Who has got off to a bad start is Colorado. So just keep beating on them when you can.
Well, we split with them. That's what I'm saying. It's like
that's the problem. You can't split with them. You got to blow them away.
That was a problem. I agree. That was a problem. Adam Jones is with us. And Adam, you were blessed with a pretty long career playing into your 30s. I'm curious. We're seeing Jurickson Profar is now in his 30s. And you kind of get the sense, once you get to that point, you're the player. You are who you are.
Right.
And, for good and bad, you're not going to change much yet. So far this season, and now he's over 100 at-bats. He is playing like
he's a dream.
It's unbelievable what he's doing right now. He's hitting 342. He can't miss. Is it possible to, take a step up in your game at this point in your career?
Well, he didn't take that option, and he ain't getting paid that $8 or $10 million that he was.
He's
that
getting
could
one.
have been paid.
And
he got one. Yeah. Do you know how hungry he is right now? He's hungry for that 2-3 year deal. He's hungry for it. And again, he's a hell of a player, but he's hungry right now. And, hey, that's what you want. You want a player that's out there hungry for free agency. Again, the Yankees are getting a great Juan Soto because he's going to free agency. You want them to be hungry. And right now, Profar with that big old smile, I love Profar. Every time I see him, he give me a big old hug. I love that dude. And he plays the game the right way. He plays it hard. Plays outfield with an infield glove. And plays it with a big smile. I love it.
Who he reminds me of? My son, who's 6, tries to slide for every ball. I'm like, I was going to coach.
Stay on your feet, bro.
I was just going to try to coach him out of it. I go, you know what? Get out there and have some fun right now at 6 years old. Slide, try to make that catch. No, he's been a dream, like an absolute dream for this team, and we'd be dead in the water without him. Truly, he has stepped up, and you're starting to see, conversely, we talked to you about Jackson Merrill early and how he just looked like, hey, this is the big leagues. I got this figured out. A little bit of a skid right now, 0 for 18, something like that. The book may be out on him, but he's still contributing with his legs. He's still contributing defensively, and that's really all you can do. Yeah, like if the bat goes cold for a while, you still got to be able to have those other parts of your game that it's not affecting.
Oh, I'm saying, hey, and Jackson needs, drop down a bunt, kid. If you're listening, drop down a bunt. It's okay. You can run, drop down a bunt. Drag it, push it. I don't care. Every once in a while, drop down a bunt. Wayne Kirby told me, he said, you look down, he's like, I'm 0 for 9, 0 for 10. He said, hey, you better drop down a bunt. You can run. In the scorebook, it looks the same. So you can't always out-hit Major League Baseball. Sometimes you gotta do what you got to do. Take that knock. Hey, in the scorebook, when you see it, or on the board, when it says 1, hey, that is a feeling that some people just don't know. So sometimes you just got to go for that. Again, and it's going to happen. It's the major leagues. You see it with a lot of young guys. It's the major leagues. Guys know how to consecutively make pitches. So that's what they do. The guys struggling with an up and in fastball, hey, look I'm not going to throw him change-ups, throw him up and in fastballs. That's just it. He's just going to have to make the adjustment on the fly. But I love the way he's playing defense. Yep. I love his attitude. I love just the way he runs the bases, his aggressiveness. I think he's fitting really well into the city and into the organization. So I think the sky is really the limit. That's what Manny got on his back. But I think the sky is really the limit for Jackson also.
Yankees and Orioles, they have one more, right? Yankees got yesterday's. Orioles took the first 2. Battle for first place early in the season. Seems like 2 pretty evenly matched teams, Adam. This could be one of those fun races that lasts all summer long.
Big time. And the thing is you don't play each other 19 times anymore. You don't play 12. So I think each time you play your division, it is really important because you can't be like, okay, well, they beat us earlier in the year. It's like, nah, we're going to see them again in September 6 times. Now you might see them in September. You might see them in April, and then you see them back in, July or August, September. So this series is big. I'm going to today's day game. The Orioles have won 2 out of 3 so far, so hopefully they can get 3 out of 4. Yankees are good. You know that. They got firepower. Always have, always will. You just got to tame them, tame the middle of that lineup and attack the bottom of guys, and don't let nobody get on base for the big boys. That's how you beat the Yankees.
Adam, appreciate it. Hope your future travel plans don't involve unexpected layovers or redirects, and we will talk to you again next week.
Get that medallion club,
All right.
though. Whatever it is, get it.
Yeah, Medallion Club. Yeah, I need those free drink coupons.
All right,
That's
man.
different from the Mile High Club. That's different.
Yes, it's very different.
He's laughing.
No comment.
No comment.
No comment.
Adam Jones, the five-time All-Star with us each week here on Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Always a good time.
Always a lot of fun talking with AJ. Love that moment. I played it again yesterday. The catch by Adam Jones. Didn't know Manny was going to be a future Padre at the time.
Matty V on the call.
Yeah, Matty V on the call.
Santa Maria.
It was phenomenal. Somebody said in the chat, so I wonder, does that mean Xander's not hungry? Because he got paid.
So I disagreed with that take. I know Adam knows way more about baseball than I do, but why wasn't Jurickson hungry last year? He was on a one-year deal. Had a horrible year with the Rockies. Wasn't hungry enough?
It's Colorado, maybe. I don't know.
Seems like it'd be easier to be hungry there. There's plenty to eat.
He
Plenty of offense to eat in Colorado.
He likes it here.
The man's a Padre.
He's a Padre.
But
like,
that also is going to hurt his leverage. If he has a good season,
yes.
Like what? You want to go play in Minnesota or you want to go play in Seattle?
Yeah.
No, we know where you want to be. We know you want to be here.
We've said this. People call and they say this, and I'm like, God, it's such a dumb take. He may be the only guy in the world that you can get on a discount. And you did. You got him on a discount this year. He may be the only guy in the world that will re-sign for a discount.
Think about last year when you get Nelson Cruz a $1 million deal. What you got from him?
Nothing.
Matt Carpenter, Rudy Odor.
Matt Carpenter made like $8 million or something last year. It's insane.
Profar's doing this on a $1 million deal. Come on.
Crazy.
I mean, you signed Tatis to 14 years just to keep Jurickson happy and around for a while. So, all right, we'll come back. We got our third hour of Ben and Woods next here on The Fan.
All right, my friends, we are halfway home on a Thursday. Ben and Woods 97.3, The Fan. Great to be back with you guys after a day at the happiest place on earth, Disneyland, yesterday. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl, the executive producer. Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. And, it was good to get back to the office after it's not a vacation day. That was just a day off at Disney. Definitely was not a vacation.
What's your favorite ride?
My favorite ride yesterday, Space Mountain, was unbelievable.
Space Mountain
was
classic.
Well, they've changed it. It's now Hyperspace Mountain, and it's now a Star Wars ride, which I didn't realize until we got on it, and it was phenomenal. And Bo loved it, and Taylor loved it. Really liked the roller coaster. I also like that train, the runaway train bit.
Thunder Mountain Railroad.
Mountain. Yeah,
I do like that one.
It was awesome.
I don't like roller coasters. I do like that one.
Thunder Mountain Railroad was killer.
Yeah, it's very smooth now. It's not rickety.
You're right. The Rise of the Resistance is great, and Smuggler's Run is good. They're just very ornate. Like there's the ride. There's not a lot to it.
The detail is unbelievable.
Phenomenal. When we walked in a room and there's 100 stormtroopers, Taylor was like, he's never seen anything like it. He couldn't believe it. So it was pretty cool. They do a really good job there at Disney. I would like more. We did not go over to California Adventure. Kids are just a touch too little for the big roller coasters, but to be able to go and ride Space Mountain now makes me want to go back and take them, and they were really into it.
There's still plenty at California Adventure that they
could still ride.
That's where you get the Spider-Man guy flying
Marvel.
around.
We knew Taylor loved Spider-Man so much.
Cars ride.
We knew
Cars ride's great.
We knew if we went over there, there's no way we're getting out of there before 7 p.m. So we were there at rope drop, which was 8. So we left San Diego. We were up, 5 o'clock in the morning. Left San Diego. Stopped, got Starbucks. Bo had to.
So you slept in?
Yeah, slept in. We had to go to find a hotel so Bo could drop a deuce. So that was fun. Before the parking opened. Dad, I have to poop. I'm like, hello, Spring Hill Suites. Oh, don't mind us. Yeah, we're staying here. Don't worry about it. You have a bathroom down here? So we had to do that. Get in, get your food, get your beignets, and it was great, man. We were there at 8 o'clock for the road trip. We think we left at like 2. So by the time we got to our car, it was 2:30. We're home by 3:30.
What was on the menu?
Menu yesterday was
such good food.
We started with beignets, and I had some coffee.
New Orleans Square beignets,
brilliant,
very nice.
I had some mini corn dogs, and I had a root beer float to end the day. Very healthy lifestyle, very healthy indeed. But we walked 10 miles.
Star Wars Land. I haven't been there in a few years. Star Wars area. They had this like horchata cold brew drink that was unbelievable. Yep. And then you got to go to the Red Wagon and get the corn dogs.
You know what I'm interested in Disneyland next time? The Earl of Sandwich. You know where that is?
In downtown Disney.
It's when the tram pulls up. There's the Earl of Sandwich shop.
The monorail.
No, the tram from the parking lot.
Oh, okay.
So but it's like outside of the gates.
Yeah, in downtown Disney.
Yeah, so the Earl of Sandwich looked good. But every time I go, when I get there, it's early, so I'm not going to get a sandwich then. And then when I leave, I'm already full. And I don't want to eat a sandwich right before I get in the car.
Makes sense. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but I'm very fascinated by the Earl of Sandwich. If anybody's ever eaten there, let me know how it went for you. But it was a great day.
Like sandwiches out there?
Yeah, you like sandwiches out there? Try the Earl of Sandwich at Disneyland. I bet it's very good. You can't call yourself the Earl of Sandwiches if you have a bad sandwich.
I think that's true.
Yeah. So
I've never eaten there, though, so I don't know.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
Miley says the sandwiches are okay.
All right. Well, it's Disneyland. I mean, there's, it's fine.
So I read something during the break that disturbed me a little bit. Jeff Passan, who we all tend to respect and like.
Very much.
Published a column this morning, Early MLB Takeaways, Best and Worst Teams, Umpires, and Trends. Through a month of the season, we're starting May, so you're starting to get an idea of what's what in Major League Baseball. The sample size has gone from very small to at least somewhat reasonable on teams and players to make some judgments. And I went down to item number 7, and it's titled, Which Disappointment is Most Doomed? And Jeff wrote, of the first month's 7 biggest disappointments, the Arizona Diamondbacks, Houston Astros, San Diego Padres, San Francisco Giants, St. Louis Cardinals, Tampa Bay Rays, and Toronto Blue Jays, which is in the most trouble? Huh. And I first thought, of course, well, they didn't get off to a great start, but Are they one of the biggest disappointments in all of baseball through the first month of the season?
The answer is no, in my opinion.
After shedding as much payroll as they did.
You made me sweat. I have to take my sweatshirt off now because
So he said, he basically writes that I think the Diamondbacks are going to be okay. Then he writes, the Padres and Giants are repeating 2023 in the worst way.
What?
Nothing about them suggests they'll contend. Nothing about them suggests
When did he
bad
write
enough
this?
for the lottery. The Giants can't score runs. The Padres can't prevent them. That is basically the crux of the analysis from baseball's top reporter and insider, Jeff Passan. The Padres.
The teams again that are the disappointments.
The biggest disappointments. The Arizona Diamondbacks. I get that. Coming off a World Series trip.
Okay, yeah. What'd they spend in the offseason?
And they spent some good money to add some players.
Okay.
Houston Astros, clearly, off to a disappointing start.
Yep.
The Padres.
Yep.
The Giants, who spent a ton of money and are under 500.
Okay.
The Cardinals, who did not have a good season last year and are once again off to a shaky start this year, but I don't know that they're one of the biggest disappointments. The Rays and the Toronto Blue Jays, who I thought have been okay, and they looked all right when the Padres played them. I don't know if that's fair to lump the Padres in with the biggest disappointments of baseball.
He does go on to say that at least the Padres aren't the biggest disappointment.
Well,
he does give that to Houston.
Out of those teams, who cut $92 million off the payroll?
Only one.
Only one of those teams.
New manager.
Cut $92 million off of their payroll. Only one. That they're not a great team by any stretch, but they're not. If you went in expecting more than like 500-ish right now, I think that you were probably a little bit delusional.
Disappointing is a weird word because what are they? Padres are 16 and 18.
Yeah.
What if they were 10 and 24?
That's disappointing because
it's disappointing, but it's also maybe somewhat expected after all the reasons
you know which team is not in there that I would include? Because the word disappointment.
Wouldn't the Dodgers be disappointed?
Exactly.
Yes, 100%.
The word disappointment necessarily starts with what your expectations were.
Yes.
If you expected to go 0-30, if you're 1-29, hey, that's great. We're kind of pleasantly surprised with how our team is doing. I think the Dodgers have been a bigger disappointment to this stage of the season, even though they're alone in first place and 4.5 games clear of the rest of the division. I think they've been a bigger disappointment than the Padres at this point in the season.
I mean, just the three of us, when we made our dumbass predictions for the season, we were like maybe a fourth place team.
My dumbass put the Padres
could be a
in
third
second.
place team.
They are in
Look
second.
who's right.
Yes. My point was that was a hot take from you.
Yeah, very.
When we made those predictions.
Very. It was pandering. 100%
I would say the
pandering.
expectations were not super high here in San Diego.
That's a tough one for me. All
right.
They are look. Let's be fair to Jeff Passan too. Padres are a tough team to handicap. They just are. I mean, when you handicap a team as 81 and 81,
my guess is this is a really long piece, and he's probably been working on it for a couple of days.
That's what she said.
2 days ago looked a little different. Five losses in a row. The entire starting rotation struggled through a trip. Just having the last 2 days, Yu Darvish throw 5 shutout, and Joe Musgrove looking like Joe Musgrove going 6. All of a sudden, the comment that the Padres can't prevent runs doesn't hold water as well as it did 2 days ago. Now you're looking, all right, 2 good starts and going into Dylan Cease, who has been your best starter. Yeah, the Phillies got him.
Maybe he wrote this part on Sunday.
The Phillies are getting everybody right now. You can almost throw out the Phillies series a little bit. You can't, but you can a little bit. They've been doing that to everyone lately. You ran into a red-hot team. You didn't play your best. It was a bad weekend. Other than the Phillies series, the Padres have won 4 of their last 6 series, had the disappointing split against the Rockies. They've only lost 1 other series in their last 7, though, other than 1 bad weekend against the Philadelphia Phillies. Take that out, and the Padres, I would put in the pleasant surprise category for Major League Baseball through the first month of the season. Outside of 1 bad weekend, I put them as one of the actual positives of the first month of the season, not one of the biggest disappointments.
The fact that they're still, it's so early, but the fact that they're hanging around, and that's kind of what we said is what needs to happen this year. 500 is okay. If we go into
they're a game and a half out of a playoff spot at the moment.
You guys signed up for 500 at the break?
Yes.
Yeah. All day. I take 500 at the break, and then I'll let the second half speak for itself.
I'd even take 2 to 3 games under 500.
Right, but if you came
right
in
around there,
you're hanging around.
Where a sweep puts you, back at 500 or better.
Yeah, that's a weird one for me. And it's
like there's biggest disappointments, there's biggest surprises, and then there's the kind of right in the middle.
Look, okay, let's do biggest surprises. The Oakland A's are a massive surprise for me. Massive. I mean, I didn't expect those guys to win. I thought it would take them forever to get to the win total that they're at right now. The Chicago Cubs, not really surprised. I mean, they're playing well now. There's a bunch of teams. The Miami Marlins, I'm not even surprised that they're
the whole AL.
so bad. They're all
the Royals and the Red Sox. He includes the Guardians, the Tigers, and the Brewers as his pleasant, positive surprises.
All the Central that gets all the Centrals.
Except for the White Sox.
Yeah, that's a tough one for me.
Minnesota Twins have won 10 in a row, by the way.
Yeah, 10 in a row.
Again, I know there's no bad 10-game winning streaks.
There's not.
But White Sox and Angels do it against someone else. Against every other team, the Twins have been pretty bad this year.
No but. There's no buts about it.
It's 10-0 over your last 10.
It would be nice to
10-0.
get to play the White Sox 13 times this year. Let me just say that.
That's true.
Even better than getting to play the Rockies.
13 times.
It's true.
Yeah, but with the Rockies, you still have to go to Coors Field.
You got to play in Coors Field.
You still have to go to Coors Field. With Chicago, they don't even have that. The Marlins have been pretty bad, too, although they just took a couple from the Rockies. So
it is interesting. That is an interesting take by Jeff Passan. 16 and 18, 4.5 out, 1.5 out of a wild card, 4 and 6 in their last 10. I don't feel disappointed. I did feel disappointed when they lost 5 in a row. I was disappointed then because I felt like you rolled over in Colorado in that last game and you really let that one get away. And I felt like Monday night was horrible. I mean, you took 8 innings to get another hit after the leadoff batter hit one.
And you barely showed up against the Phillies.
And you barely showed up at all against the Phils at home. So I was disappointed in that. But they haven't disappointed me this season. I'm kind of falling that they're just fairly mediocre right now. They're a mediocre baseball team. So by that logic, 16 and 18 is mediocre. I think we're right on point. But they certainly haven't disappointed me.
16 and 18 to start last year would have been a disappointment.
Yeah, absolutely. Last year, the expectations were.
The Padres actually started out last year.
Well, I know when we were 14 and 14, we were 14 and 14 this year on the same date, which, by the way, is infinitely better than being 14 and 14 last year with the lineup and the payroll that you had.
I can actually tell you. Let's see. Let's go to 2023.
So
I think they were like 18 and 16 or something.
Yeah, something
similar, but a couple games above 500 at this point.
So I think he's a little bit off base there. But yeah, I know you guys probably talked about Brian Kenny yesterday. Everyone.
Oh yeah, do you want to sound off on that when we come back?
Not really.
Second?
I actually respect his take because I tweeted like he's a generational hater like I am. Like he's just committed to his bit. That's all he's doing. Like, he hates the Padres so much that I go, you know what, bud? I get you. I tip my hat to you. He's a moron. I mean, it's a moronic take.
I mean, Dan O'Dowd wasn't much better.
Right.
By saying only like 7 or 8 teams would be interested in Fernando, but it's better than 1 to 0 teams interested in acquiring Fernando.
Again,
but when Dan O'Dowd is just slapping him in the face with like facts, numbers, and he's just like, nah.
Right.
Nah.
Can we, we're going to take a quick timeout. All right. We don't need to talk about Brian Kenny, but let's have an honest conversation about Fernando Tatis post-suspension versus pre-suspension. And if you do notice, is there any difference?
Are you going to include, because they did not include his surgeries. There's multiple surgeries in there.
Post-suspension / surgery.
Right. Of course, but even post-surgeries. Is he the same? Is he better? Is he worse? What's your real honest take on Fernando Tatis Jr.? Get to that coming up. Eno Sarris can give us some thoughts on disappointments and surprises as well when he joins us at the bottom of the hour. Stay tuned. More Ben and Woods coming up after a check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan. ultimately, I do believe Fernando Tatis Jr. is the same player that he was before. The numbers haven't been quite as good since his injuries and suspension when he came back. Last year was, in my mind, obviously a bounce back, adjustment season, the timing, everything, the prep that, different for Fernando. This year will be more telling. The numbers aren't perfect yet this year, but he's also had a lot of bad luck. His expected batting average is over 300. His actual batting average is more like 230. He has hit a ton of rockets that have found gloves. The one thing, and I see people pointing it out, and I don't believe it's really true, but there's that anecdotal quality. The warning track flyouts have seemed to have jumped up in the last year plus since he came back. I don't think that's even how steroids work. If you're really going to attribute some of Fernando Tatis's success to
Clostebol,
the pre-suspension, whatever he was using, it doesn't simply turn you from a guy who hits it 415 feet to a guy who hits it 382 feet. It really is not. That's not how they work. It's about recovery. It's about returning. He's not a weaker player. He still hits the ball with the same exit velocities now. This year especially, you've seen the same exit velocities that he had before. You can only hit the ball hard. Now, at some point, you got to get the right launch angles. You got to put it in the right part of the park. The conditions have to be right. It's early season at Petco Park. You're going to have some balls that die at the warning track. I don't think that has anything to do with the kind of player Fernando Tatis Jr. is. I think he's back. I really do.
I think he's back too, and does he chase a little bit too much? Sure,
he did before as well.
He did before as well.
More even maybe.
Yeah, he's one of those guys where I know it's probably naive. I don't really worry a tremendous amount about him. I don't. Because he can help you in so many other ways. The one thing I've noticed about Fernando, and this happens with everybody when they get a little bit older and they play a few more games. There have been 4 or 5 occasions this year where he'll hit like a squibber, and I'm like, oh, he's on. No, I got him. Oh my God, I got my step. Yeah, everybody's gonna lose a step eventually, right? But it hasn't hurt him in the outfield. I know he's booted a couple this year, some weird errors that he's had this year. He's also made some brilliant plays as well. You got to take the good with the bad.
The play against Trey Turner,
ungodly, dude.
In the 9th inning the other day, was
moronically athletic and insane. His arm, he's got a hose and a good arm, and he's a spectacular.
It's Fernando Tatis Jr.
Thank you. He's a spectacular player. I just don't worry about him, man. I don't. I just want him to be the very best version of himself, and that's hitting balls really, really hard, and that's what he's doing right now. So I don't, you wanted to have an honest conversation. That's my honest feeling. Like, do I want him to do more? Yeah. I want him to produce more than he's producing right now, but the process is right. I mean, the process is absolutely right, in my opinion. I mean, again, he chases some bad pitches sometimes. He gets thrown at a ton. They're always moving his feet. They're still scared of him too, so they're not going to take it lightly. I want him to produce more, and I think he will. I do.
He's also 25 years
25 years old, man.
And because
feels like a 10-year vet.
Because we've seen him for so long, I think we sometimes forget that he's still the age that a lot of rookies are when they come up right now. He's far from a finished product, and you'd expect that the best version of Fernando Tatis Jr. will be the one we see in probably 2 to 6 years from now is when he's really going to be in his prime. He's not even there yet.
He's really murdering the baseball, though. I mean, really, if you look at his sliders, he's murdering the baseball. It's all you can ask. It's all you can ask from your player. Get up there, hit the ball hard. It's going to find holes. They're going to start to fall. The ball's going to start to carry. You're going to get your bombs. Do I think he's a 40 home run guy? Not necessarily. I think he's a 30 home run guy, and I think he can get to 30 this year. He's got 6 right now, with probably should have about 9, maybe 10.
6 through 34. It's got to be close to 30 pace.
Yeah. So I don't worry about him. I don't. I know where he's going to be every night. He's going to be in the 2-hole. He's going to be in right field. He's going to be playing. He's going to be playing good defense. I think his pitchers really respect him. I think they feel if somebody shoots one out to right field, he's going to get a beat on it. And if it does drop, he could throw a guy out going first to third. He could throw a guy out going second to home. I love the kid. I'll always love the kid. And I just don't worry about him. I don't. He's just not a guy that I concern myself with overly. Yeah, man, I want him to be in the 3-hole hitting jacks, right? Of course, because I like home runs and I think he's capable of 40 home run power. But man, the surgeries, the way that he played through some of the pain that he's played through early in his career could have a major effect on it. I mean, Cody Bellinger was a 40 home run guy. He got the same surgery. He's hurt again. You know, I just don't worry. I really don't.
Will Fernando Tatis Jr. win an MVP award in his career?
Yes.
I think the answer is yes.
You do think so?
I don't think that's
If I gave you like 4-1 odds that he would win one, you definitely put some money on that?
I don't think that's rose-colored glasses either, because if there's also one thing we know about him is he does have the ability, as he's proven by winning a Platinum Glove last year, he's a good adjuster. He can adjust. They moved him off shortstop. That's not easy. And they moved him to right field. And he tried to find a way. You're talking about a kid that's played shortstop since he was probably 6.
Yeah, I mean, not winning one's not an indictment. I'm just curious
No.
What your thinking is.
My thinking is that he works incredibly hard on his game. He does. They all do. And he spends his offseason playing ball. Why? Because he loves baseball. He's a baseball rat. He's not the typical guy that you look at. He is flashy, and he is a showman. But he's also a grinder, and he's also a baseball rat. He plays in the Dominican League because he loves baseball, right?
He and Jackson Merrill, I think, are cut from a similar cloth.
There is no doubt about it. Different countries, same type of player.
Different backgrounds, but
100%.
Same kind of style, same kind of love of baseball, not really caring about that much else. Just wants to go out and play baseball as much as possible.
That's exactly right. So I think he's an elite adjuster. I do think he can win an MVP. This would be a good year to do it. Well, Mookie's really running away with it right now. But
the part of winning an MVP is who you're competing against, and looks like Ohtani's going to be in your league for quite some time going forward.
That's true.
He's going to be a real threat most years to win it. Yeah, right now Mookie's still playing unbelievable, one of the best Aprils anybody's ever had in the history of baseball. He's a clear favorite right now.
I will say, I'm sure Fernando, when pressed, not even pressed, just asked, would you rather have the ring or the MVP? He'd say the ring, and I think I would rather have that for him than the MVP.
Me too.
But
again,
look, if you're sitting out there right now and you're listening, you're rolling your eyes. If you don't think he's got the talent to be an MVP, I think you're nuts, because I think he absolutely does. He absolutely has the talent to be an MVP.
We've seen a lot of pitchers continuing to do the throw up and in, go away. And yesterday it kind of struck me as he did swing and miss on a couple of those outside sliders. I don't think, at first I thought, they're trying to move his feet, get him to back off those outside sliders. I think they actually get him to be more aggressive sometimes on those outside pitches. He knows where they're going. They go up and in. All right, the next one's a slider low and away. He's so aggressively reaching over for those now that sometimes he expands just a little bit and swings at a pitcher's pitch because he's so confident. All right, here comes the low and outside slider because they just went inside on me. Still never a great pitch to hit. Even if you know it's coming, you're never going to do the most damage on a slider at the knees that's just off the outside corner. And so I think sometimes he gets aggressive. I love that you mentioned it, the last at-bat where he just took his walk and loaded the bases for Jake Cronenworth. They tried to get him to be too aggressive, to press and do something, make something happen in a tie game. They thought, we can get Fernando Tatis Jr. to get himself out because he wants so badly to do something for his team. And he didn't. He took a page from Juan Soto's book, and he just all right, you're going to put me on, we're just going to move the line and go to the next guy. And thank goodness Jake has been coming through so often that can now be a problematic strategy for the opposition to walk players, and the Padres are beating you that way now.
Yeah, I mean, you ask a pitcher, like, you're not going to let Fernando Tatis Jr. be. You're not going to throw a meatball with runners on second, third there to let Fernando Tatis Jr. be. I'll take my chances with Jake Cronenworth. Croney's got to make him pay, and that's exactly what he did. But it was a big boy at bat by Fernando yesterday. That's a big boy at bat in that situation.
All right, we'll come back. Eno Sarris will join us. A weekly Smart Baseball segment is coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. I always smile. I look at the clock. It's Thursday, a little after 8:30. That can mean only one thing. Got Eno Sarris standing by for our weekly Smart Baseball segment. We will get to Eno right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Viejas Casino and Resort. We're getting reports of some debris in middle lanes on northbound 5 just before SeaWorld Drive. Also traveling on southbound 15 just before Mira Mesa Boulevard. Stalled vehicle over the right shoulder. The daily jackpots at Viejas Casino and Resort are on fire. Players have hit huge wins with bets as low as 50 cents. Check out their jackpot winning smiles on the Viejas Facebook page. Want to join them? Who knows? The next jackpot winner could be you. Viejas Casino and Resort. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The.
So there was a moment for the Padres this week that was just tailor-made for Eno Sarris, I thought.
Oh, yeah.
As he joins us right now from The Athletic for his weekly segment. Eno, I had never seen this before, but Mike Shildt actually had to make a decision, like an NFL head coach on a made field goal, but the defense commits an offsides penalty. And you have to decide whether you take the points off the board to get the first down and go for the touchdown, or just take the run that was already in. Mike Shildt went for bases loaded, 1 out, and Manny Machado at the plate, but no runs in, versus 1 run in, but 2 outs and just a runner at second base. The math seems to favor Mike Shildt, and certainly the results did as well. Good morning to you, Eno.
Hey, how are you guys doing? Yeah, that was a fascinating one. And you know, after I did tweet about it and, you know, found some math supporting Shildt, I did also read some math that went against it. So,
really?
Yeah. So to explain, like, there's a thing called run expectancy. So if you have a guy on second with 1 out, you expect to score a certain amount of runs. If you have the bases loaded with 2 outs or 1 out or whatever, like, you expect there's a different level of, like, how many runs score in those situations. And in the 2 situations that he had a choice between, he had a choice between leaving himself with a chance at a third of a run, but already having banked a run. So that's 1.3 runs if you add it together.
Yep.
Bases loaded with 1 out is worth 1.5 runs, usually. So you say, okay, I take the 1.5 runs over the 1.3. However, the 1.3, you already banked 1 run.
Yes.
It's not a theoretical run. It's an actual
that
run.
one is that run that you scored.
Is the run that they would have scored, yes. So when you switch over to something called win expectancy, and it's the same thing as sort of run expectancy, except you just ask, in these situations, how often did the team win, right? He actually lowered the team's win expectation.
Ooh.
And that's because you actually get a run. You know, like, you put a run on the board. It's not a theoretical run. And so he lowered the win expectancy. However, the last part, and I heard Jesse Agler talking about this on the radio cast, I'm sure you guys have talked about this, is the soft component, the non-mathematical component. Or the fact that these numbers do not account for the fact that Manny Machado is the guy you're giving the chance to. And then Jesse was talking on the radio cast about how that also broadcasts confidence in the team to put the 1.5 theoretical runs on the board. You know?
Yeah.
So, you know, given that it was Manny coming up, you feel like, worst case scenario, sacrifice fly, and you get that 1 run back. But there's all the other better case scenarios, and, you know, he executed on one of those. So I think it was a fascinating decision. I also think, you know, one thing that may not be captured is, you know, confidence. Like, in this part, you know, is not as much fun, but, like, what's your confidence in your middle of your bullpen? And do you think you need more than 1 run? or do you think one run's going to do it?
It's so weird because
he kind of went for more runs.
Well, yeah, it's so weird though because this team, to that point that day, had a hard time scoring runs. So I mean, he threw all of that out the window, and I was listening to them talk about it on MLB Network, and I think it was Carlos Pena that said, what it does is it's a nice message in the clubhouse. And Schultz has made no bones about the fact that he's going to believe. If they lose 5 straight, he's still going to believe in his players. That's just what he does. It could be lip service. He could be MFing them behind their backs. Who knows, right?
But it's hard to say I believe in my players and then not give them a chance to go out and do what he gave Manny a chance to do.
And he said things like that speak volumes about it. And that's where now listen. Well, in no way do I think Mike Schilt knew those numbers off the top of his head or that they had a spreadsheet for him. I feel like that was 1,000%. Now, I will say, because I was out yesterday, I didn't get a chance to talk about it, so I'm frothing at the mouth. I will say that is about as from your gut that I've ever seen. And he did not hesitate. He's like, put him back, Manny, you're up. It was brilliant. I mean, it really was. And there's an infallible way to know that it was the right decision. It worked. Infallible. It's an infallible way. It worked. And it worked really well, and we won that game. It was awesome.
That's not the right way to do it.
Yes, it is. It works.
Eno's entire career model is based on the opposite of that statement, Woods.
So good. So good.
But another thing that's fun about it is just like you think about this in opposition to like Gabe Kapler. Like you're talking about, like I'm sure Gabe Kapler was mostly said nice things about his players in press conferences, but then what does he do with his players is kind of muck around with them. Like have these like really intense strategies. That might have made the players feel like he doesn't trust them. Like if you're Sean Manaea, last year on the Giants, you feel like your manager doesn't trust you at all.
Correct.
Because you sometimes go in for an inning, sometimes you go for 3, sometimes it's a spot start, sometimes you're an opener. Like you don't know what your manager thinks of you at all. And so Schilt looks like he's a little bit more on the opposite end of that, where he's like, I'm gonna depend on you. I'm gonna put you in the position to succeed, hopefully, but also like I'm gonna. It's up to you.
Talking to Eno Sarris from The Athletic, our Smart Baseball segment, and one thing that's important in baseball analytics, is sample size. Over a very short period of time, an average player can look like an MVP, and an MVP can look like a terrible baseball player. Usually, the more numbers you get, the more accurate and representative it is. So you wrote this week about some of the early returns on some players that seem to be trending better than before. And one you brought up was Jake Cronenworth. He made you look smart yesterday with his grand slam to help the Padres win. Another one I want to ask you about, though, is the early returns on Jurickson Profar, because we're all stunned by this. He's now over 100 at-bats. He's hitting .342 very consistently. Now, those numbers, the behind-the-numbers numbers aren't quite that good, as BABIP and things say there should be some regression. But when you look at Jake and Jurickson, how real is what they're doing so far this season?
Well, I try to look at numbers that are more meaningful in small samples. And so when I look at his line, there are some things that are really good, which is he's barreling the ball at about a rate that would be the second best.
This is Jake first?
No,
this is Jurickson. Okay.
So he's barreling the ball a little bit better than usual. He's barreling the ball about the same way as he did in Oakland when he hit 20 homers. So, this could be a season where he hits 18, 19, 20 homers, and that would be one of his best seasons. The other thing that I really like is that the walk and strikeout numbers are probably the best combo of his career. It's the best walk rate of his career, and it's not necessarily the best strikeout rate of his career. It was one of his better ones, and his swing strike rate is good. So those are numbers that are meaningful in small samples. So even if, the batting average on balls in play says that he's lucky, I don't think anybody really thinks he's going to hit .342 for the year. I think he will hit on the upper end of his batting averages. So you could expect maybe like a .260 going forward. You can expect like a .330, .340 on base percentage. Those are both better than his career numbers. I think you could probably even expect like a 400 slugging or better. That's better than his career numbers. So I think we're headed to one of his better years. And for what it's worth, I didn't expect it. After a poor year last year that saw him sort of bounce around, I thought he was on the downward slope of his career. This is a really nice season for him.
It has been, and Croney has been great. I mean, he really has. He's changed. He admitted in the offseason, he had a lot of work to do. He put in the work. Funny, Paulie and I were actually at a cage the other day with a guy that has hit with Cronenworth before and had him come into his cages and was immediately like, you see this? He's down. He's ready. His hands are in a better position. Tell us about what you've learned looking at Jake this year as opposed to last.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the best barrel rate of his career, and it's almost triple what it was last year. So I'm not saying he's going to hit 30 homers instead of 10, but he's definitely going to hit 20, 25 homers this year. I think it's going to be his best year of his career. I mean, at 30, that's a little bit late, but, you get guys that are late bloomers. And one thing that, he always brought was the contact rate, and power can sometimes come a little bit later. And I think that's just because if you listen to the way Jackson Merrill speaks or other people that make great contact, sometimes you just feel like, oh, well, I can touch any ball, right? So I can swing at any ball.
Yes.
And, sometimes you make less than ideal contact. Or something that might get you a base hit, but not a double, Dude,
that's so funny. It's exactly what I was talking to him about. And he said the guys that have good hands and good contact rate, if they're out in front just a little bit, you're so tempted because you can get bat to ball that you take a bad swing, you make bad contact. He's in such a better hitting position this year, and you're seeing it. He's not fouling those. He's ready early. He's not fouling those heaters that he was missing last year straight back. And he fouled off so many hittable pitches last year. He's not missing them this year. It's just been a delight to watch.
Yeah, no, it's a coming together of things. And, it's really hard to tell who's going to turn into a C.J. Abrams and who's going to just kind of do what Stephen Kwan has been doing, just continue to make soft contact. For what it's worth, I think Jackson Merrill has it in him too to add power as he goes. Yeah. I don't know how many he's going to hit this year, but I think a peak Jackson Merrill season might look like a Jake Cronenworth, but in center field,
The opposite end of the spectrum, Eno, for the Padres is obviously Xander Bogaerts, a player who has always had good barrel rates and has hit lots of extra bases and is doing none of that this season. I hope those numbers aren't telling of what we can expect from Xander in the future. But what have you kind of seen in terms of Xander's lack of production?
Yeah, it's weird because he worked on bat speed in the offseason, but he hasn't hit the 111s and 112s in terms of exit velocity that he has in the past. So far, he hasn't hit a ball that hard. He hasn't hit a ball over 110 so far. So his barrel rate's down a little bit, but and the hard hit rate is really down. I mean, he's normally around 40%. Right now, he's at 24%. So, one thing that does happen, and I've noticed this with pitchers, is let's say you're a pitcher and you add a pitch or you get a velo bump. Sometimes it's hard to then command it. You have to maybe sometimes one thing I was looking at was sometimes in the second year of adding a new pitch is when you really take off. And I think that's feel, so if he's changed some things, maybe there's just him trying to find that feel again. The reason I think he can do it is he's whiffing at about the same rate as normal. So that the kind of bat to ball, the what we've been talking about, the hit tool, that's there. I don't know if the power will be there this year, but he's going to get it going and have another sort of 320 stretch with the batting average. He's going to get to 12, 15 homers, I'm sure, and he's going to be really important for this team. I think it's maybe just sort of getting to know himself again.
Woods also had a question from earlier, and you seem like the ideal person to ask because of your sandwich expertise. Have you ever eaten at the Earl of Sandwich?
At Disneyland.
No, he's not. No experience there either. All right, well.
Downtown Disney. I always see it, but I'm always full, or it's too early when I get there. It just stares right in the face. The tram drops you off. You're about to walk in, and Earl of Sandwich.
It's a good name.
And I like
undoubtedly
sandwiches.
a good name.
Yeah, you like sandwiches a lot. All right.
What's the best chain sandwich place?
Yeah, what is your
sandwich
favorite chain?
expert? You know.
I guess I like Ike's. You know,
Ike's, yeah.
Ike's is good.
Solid.
Ike's is good. They name their sandwiches after famous sports people sometimes, so
yeah, I know you like.
That's
it.
always entertaining.
Yeah. We have like a Matt Cain locally. Yeah.
No Eno Sarris yet, though.
No, that one. We did do a really fun one in New York. That was we ended up calling it the Bulgogi apparatus, which is a fish reference. I just came back from the fish at the Sphere in Vegas.
Yeah. Yep, incredible.
And it was bulgogi. It was basically a bulgogi
Korean barbecue beef.
Sandwich. Yeah, Korean barbecue beef with like shredded lettuce, shredded pickled ginger, and it was really, really good. It was like on a soft loaf.
I know what I'm getting for lunch today. A delicious sandwich.
You're getting round table pizza.
No, that's true.
We've got a round table this morning, so that's what you're getting. Eno, as always,
Thank
great
you, buddy.
stuff.
Crushed it.
Appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, thanks.
Eno Sarris, our Smart Baseball segment, brought to you by 7 Mile Casino. And a little encouragement, actually, about Xander Bogaerts.
Sure.
I was expecting the worst.
Me too.
Xander's toast. He's done.
That's it.
Never expect anything again. No. Eno says he actually should be fine. Maybe power numbers will be down a little bit, but he liked what he's working on. The contact rate's still pretty good. Don't worry as much about Xander as you've been worrying about Xander.
You're right. I mean, it's the feeble contact that's getting. But if he's not striking out and not, any more than he has before, I guess your only thing to do is have faith and belief that he will come back around to making better contact.
But Eno has no investment in making sure it happens, which is why his perspective is always appreciated.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll come back. Reindl Report, final hour of our show, and then we'll head over to the sound space for this week's roundtable discussion with everybody. So lots of Padres talk on the way. Don't go away. More Ben and Woods coming up on 97.3 The Fan.
As you can imagine, the chat just went ham with your. That's a good pun by me. About sandwiches. People love to talk about sandwiches.
The chat just went capicola.
That's right.
On us.
You asked what the best chain is, and people are weighing in like crazy in there.
It's funny because I remember the first time I went to like Subway in the late 80s, and it was like, oh my God, this is good.
It was like we used to go there in high school after baseball practice. It was like you died and went to heaven. I mean, you get like a steak sandwich. You're like, I've reached the pinnacle.
And then Submarina came around. I go, oh, Subway's trash. I'm Submarina for life. And then Jersey Mike's came around. I'm going, oh, the juice. This is so much better. I mean, what sub sandwich innovations are still to come in our lifetime that we don't even know about yet?
My kids love Jersey Mike's now. In 10 years, they're going to be like, oh, God, remember we used to go to Jersey Mike's all the time? I don't know. I don't think so.
Now, I'm a board and brew guy. We got a new one right by my house, which is great. I've been there a couple of times already. Sandwiches are delicious.
I love sandwiches.
But they're, if you can find a local spot, it's always better than going with the chain.
Sure.
I always want to support local businesses.
You like sandwiches out there?
Yeah.
Settle down over there pandering right now. Bryce Harper over
Eno
here.
likes sandwiches out there.
This guy.
It's his baseball and sandwiches. That's his content right there.
I don't like a hot sandwich for the most part. Like, if I'm going to get a turkey sandwich, I don't want it hot. That's why I like Firehouse and stuff. I'm like, eh.
I also like Ike's. I've never really gotten into Jimmy John's.
Jimmy John's all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Firehouse, I've never gotten into that one.
We had Jimmy John's in Chicago, and you're in Chicago. There's a million places to eat that are better than Jimmy John's. It's a good hangover remedy, Jimmy John's. But the quality's kind of gone downhill over the last few years. We'll eat it in Arizona from time to time when we go out there for fantasy camp.
What's the one we go to? You like McAllister's?
McAllister's
right
delicious.
by the Peoria Sports Complex. That one was pretty good.
Delicious.
They got good everything.
Yeah,
Not
they got
just
good
sandwiches.
everything. Yeah.
Salads are great. Big
100%.
potatoes, chili.
Board and brew is really good.
Board and brew is great.
I like
local
the
style.
I like the sauce, but it stays with me for like 2 weeks.
It's a good thing.
All right.
It's a good thing.
No French kissing at my house after board and brew. Well, no French kissing at my house anyway, but you know what I mean. I'm definitely not getting any French kissing after board and brew.
You know, we were having a discussion earlier about offensive numbers, and they are down around baseball.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, I was just looking at there were 5 shutouts. Doesn't that seem like a lot for one day?
That just blew my mind. Yes.
Dodgers 8, D-backs nothing. Cubs 1, Mets nothing. A's 4, Pirates nothing. Yankees 2, Orioles nothing. Nationals 1, Rangers nothing. And it's not like all aces of the staff that are just throwing good numbers. The best pitchers in baseball are kind of a surprise this year. Like Seth Lugo's been fantastic.
Yeah, fantastic.
Zach Wheeler, you expect he pitched yesterday, a 2-1 win. Phillies over the Angels. Shota Imanaga.
He's incredible.
Has been incredible. He improved to 5-0, 0.68 ERA.
I got him in like the 7th round of my draft. He's my ace.
Guess who he faces in his next start?
San Diego Padres.
Yu Darvish and the San Diego Padres.
Mama.
Is, I believe Monday's lined up to have those two guys going up against each other. That one will get some attention globally when Darvish and Imanaga go up against each other as the Padres go to Wrigley Field for the second half of this upcoming road trip, Arizona and north side of Chicago.
Not to change the subject.
Please change the subject.
But Kyle in the chat said, well, don't go to Earl's Sandwich. They're only hot sandwiches. Son of a...
Only hot sandwiches.
Yeah. I don't like hot. Do you guys like hot
you like
turkey
a hot sandwich out there?
Yeah.
Do you?
Toasted?
Of course. I don't do that.
I wouldn't want it to only ever eat hot sandwiches the rest of my life, but...
I like a cheesesteak. That's a hot sandwich. That's delicious. But I don't like hot turkey and cheese. Melted cheese, I don't want it.
Delicious.
You don't like a good tuna melt or a...
I don't like tuna.
I told you, don't ever say tuna melt on the air again. I'm begging you. It's like should be one of the dirty words from the FCC. Tuna melt. You put cheese on it.
I do.
You're repulsive. It's so repulsive. Not you.
Garden State bagels, bagel, tuna, onion, tomato, cheddar cheese. It is delicious.
Hot meatball sub, delicious. But yeah, if I'm going to get a turkey, like a turkey club, I don't want it. I don't want hot meat.
You know, they had to cook it at some point, right?
I just don't want it. Hot roast beef. I'm out. I'm out. All right, so Earl Sandwich, I'm crossing it off my list. Right. Yeah, I know you wanted to talk offensive numbers, but
no,
I had to go.
We're going to get to some Reindl Report right now. And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a yeah? Oh, yeah.
All right. I just found out Woods doesn't even like a French dip.
No.
No hot sandwiches at all. Cheesesteak?
Just cheesesteak.
Just cheesesteak.
Yeah.
Okay.
And meatball.
By the way, speaking of French dip, good luck to my parents who are on their way to France right now.
Really?
Yeah, they're going to Paris.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
On their way to the airport. My son is taking them, and I hope they have a good time on their trip
Oh, I'm so jealous.
to Paris.
Your dad's going to get so much action in Paris that he is. I'm telling you, it's a romantic city.
Is it?
Yes. Your dad right now.
They're doing a cruise on the Seine
Oh.
River. Yeah.
Tell my wife we're going to be going to Paris soon.
I am so.
It's the city of light. It's the city of romance.
I mean, have they been before?
No.
Oh, my
I don't think so.
God.
Bon voyage.
I'm so jealous. It's just the best city in the world. There's nothing like Paris. It's unreal.
Can you get a French dip there, though?
Probably. They just call it a dip. I'm so jealous of you guys.
All right, Paulie.
All right, we will start off here. We talked about this upcoming video game a little bit over the last few months. EA Sports College Football
Yes.
25 returning. A lot of people excited. It's been gone away for a long time, and now with NIL and everything,
Real players, real names.
it's back. And Chris Fowler, one of the voices of college football, you see him on game day. He has just finished all of the voice work that goes into this game. He said it was more than 115 hours of talking because
we've done this story, haven't we?
Well, he's got an update here because he just finally finished. We told you about like when it was all starting. It's been going on for months, and him and Kirk Herbstreit had to get together to do some back and forth banter. Any possible scenario.
Well, like think about like the Aztecs have 42 guys competing to be their starting quarterback, so they probably have to do voiceovers for like all of them.
Not just the players though, but every possible scenario. Your quarterback decides to run the ball in the opposite direction for 40 yards and then throw an interception. Like they have to have any scenario. It took so much time and effort.
Like actually.
Maybe. Listen to Chris Fowler yesterday put out a video of him wrapping up all of the 115 hours of voice work needed for this video game.
And folks, that's a wrap from my part of the voiceover work for the EA Sports College Football game. I'm told more than 115 hours over about 2 years. It was a wild experience. Kirk and I did some joint recordings on the final session covering some analysis in the booth. If your quarterback throws 5 interceptions that you continue to call nothing but pass plays, that is analyzed. If your team goes to triple overtime or beyond and it becomes a contest of 2-point conversion plays and your defense picks one off and runs it back for a pick 2 to win the game, that's in the game.
Got it.
Along with
Unreal.
a crazy reaction. Got done reading more than 700 player names in the game. It is an incredibly detailed process. I couldn't be more impressed with everyone at EA. Total pros who care so much about the quality and sweat the details. EA is going to release much more information about gameplay, etc. Cover athletes, I know, before the end of the month, so keep an eye out for that. It was a really cool experience. Couldn't be more proud to be part of this stuff. But I'm also glad to have my office back for the first time in a couple of years. I moved all the sound equipment out. Now I can see the walls again, which feels pretty good.
Yeah, he had to just turn his office into a sound studio to record all of that different play-by-play, the names and everything. That's a lot of work that you never really think about.
Don't put Shedeur Sanders on the cover, please.
They're gonna. One of them. They have multiple.
I did not read too much into it. I thought I saw something about they're going to be doing regional covers or a bunch of different types of covers, like a player for each Power 5 conference or something like that. But yeah, those details will come out later. The video game, I believe, comes out sometime this summer.
You know what's crazy is that they're going to have to just do it again.
Right.
Like all that work.
Yeah, got to get started on
next year. Like,
NCAA 26.
It just never ends. It just never, ever ends, this vicious. 2 years, 115 hours, 151 hours. I mean, I need like $1 million easily. Like, it needs to be like seven-figure deal to do that. That's
how many
a lot.
hours are in a week? Let's see. 24 times 7, 168. So that would be basically 5 straight days with no sleep, no
Just
break,
crushing through
going
it.
the whole time to record everything that they needed to record for the
He
game.
is traveling during football season.
Yeah, it's not like
still
that's his
working.
only gig.
Right.
Wow.
All right, next up, staying in football here, there has been some dialogue going on about Marvin Harrison Jr., the number 4 overall pick out of Ohio State. He was drafted by the Arizona Cardinals, and I saw that he has not signed the preliminary NFL Players Association licensing agreement. And what that is it's an agreement that most, not all, but most players that are drafted into the NFL, they all sign because it allows their name and likeness to be monetized by the NFL, whether it's jersey sales, Madden video games, we just talked about EA Sports, like any of that stuff has to be agreed upon once you enter the NFL and are drafted.
And then you just get your check in the mail.
And yes, and Marvin Harrison Jr. has not yet signed that. There's a little bit of a standoff. And I saw this clip from Pat McAfee, who, love him or hate him, the guy's been through the process. He played in the NFL, and he knows his stuff. He did a little bit of digging. I pulled about a minute here. It's actually it has nothing to do with the NFL itself. It's actually about Fanatics.
I guess there was an offer made to Marvin Harrison Jr. whenever he was a sophomore in college, which has happened to a lot of guys, where if you sign it for a card deal, an autograph deal, it's for 4 years. So it goes all the way into like your second year in the NFL. Marvin Harrison, who doesn't need the money, said, we're not taking that deal. We're not signing that deal. So allegedly what's been happening behind the scenes is a potential tiff or beef between Fanatics and the Marvin Harrison camp. Now, can that be settled? We hope so. But what Marvin Harrison Jr.'s camp is saying, my price as a sophomore in high school is nowhere near the same as a rookie in the NFL or a second year in the NFL. And although a lot of other college student athletes are taking this deal, we did not take this deal. So the holdup with the NFLPA deal is actually a holdup with a Fanatics operation that's taking place. And that is kind of being misrepresented, seemingly, in some of the conversations that are happening around it.
So, yes, basically there was that deal that he was offered as a sophomore in college that a lot of guys that could use the money will sign and get your bag, do what you got to do. Now, his dad, Marvin Harrison, he's doing okay financially. He doesn't need that money, and he's looking at it going, I'm going to be a top 5 draft pick, and my value at that point will be much higher.
Be much higher.
All right, but let me make this point. If his name was Marvin Higgins, he doesn't have that name value. His name value is built in because he's named Marvin Harrison Jr.
Well,
he's
a great player.
He is, but there are a lot of great wide receivers who are drafted in the top, half of the first round every single year, and they don't have that built-in name recognition that he can take advantage of. And I don't begrudge him trading on also his dad's name, which he is doing. It's not just his college career. There are a lot of good college wide receivers that were just as good or better than Marvin Harrison Jr., but they're not named after a Hall of Famer.
But he wasn't drafted because of his name. He's drafted because of how good he is as a player.
But
Bronny James, different story.
The other guys who are also really good don't have that built in. I don't know, though, that sometimes when you're a rookie, you just want to put your head down, and you don't necessarily want to stand out from the crowd. Just take your check like everybody else is. You'll get, if you have a successful career, you'll make plenty of money.
If you're most importantly, he can do what he wants. If you're a Cardinals fan, you're like, here we go again. Here we go again. Can we ever have a normal draft? Can we ever have a normal, can anything ever go smoothly? It's kind of like how the Padres.
He's not sitting out or anything.
Right, he's not holding out or anything. But
it just means that he won't be in Madden.
Right.
And you probably won't be able to buy a Marvin Harrison Jr. jersey, at least right away.
One of those things where you go, all right.
But I did find that interesting. I did not. It was not. It's not him beefing with the NFL or anything. It's just.
I didn't realize that's how that works.
Rafa says, "Can't wait to use Harry Marvin Jr. in the next Madden."
No, Marvin Higgins, as you say.
There you go.
Yes. Very slow, very white.
Finally, a little sportsy here. Well, it involves a former athlete. We'll talk about feet.
Love feet
for a little bit.
Big feet fan.
Shaq recently, I think this was on his podcast, admitted that he spends $1,000 or more on pedicures And a lot of it is in.
Wait, $1,000 more on each pedicure, or like per month, or what are we talking
no,
about?
like each pedicure.
No,
BS. And I think a lot of it is the tip that he leaves, because he says he knows his feet are, quote, ugly and stinky.
And they're massive.
Yes.
That's like
size 23. What is it?
That's
like
a 2-3 person job.
My man posted a video of him getting a pedicure. I don't even know if I want to show it on the YouTube.
He's amazing.
It's disgusting. It's so bad. He says he spends over $1,000 on pedicures because I know they're big and stinky, they're dirty, they're disgusting. It's just Shaq. Oh god.
Are you gonna play it?
I did.
Why are they painted blue?
You're probably watching on a delay.
Why are they Why did their toenails
I'm glad you
painted
asked.
blue?
He talked about how he paints his toenails. He said he started doing this many years ago, and it was a suggestion from his mom. He said he once had a torn toenail, and he was not going to play in that game. So his mom painted the toenail, or painted over that red with some toenail paint.
Right, toenail polish.
And he went on to score 40 points that night. So he said, you know what? I'm just going to start painting them from now on.
All right, there's the video. Oh,
now you're seeing it, yeah. Yeah. So if you got feet like that, you're going to be dropping some money. You got to leave a nice, generous tip.
I thought mine were bad, but those are definitely worse.
Let's see yours again.
I got one kind of deadish toenail that's not good.
Let's see.
This one, the second one there.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
It's kind of dead.
What is that?
It's just dead.
Fungus.
No, it's not. It's just it got ripped off on an accident once, and it never came back the same
the rest
way.
They're all right.
It's okay. I've never had a manicure or a pedicure. I know you've had a pedicure before.
Love a pedicure.
When was the last time you had a pedicure?
It's been a while. It's been over a year.
You call them pedis, or do you pedicure?
Mani-pedi.
Mani-pedi.
I don't care. I bite my nails, so
I do too.
Really no need to do that.
If you're hating on getting a pedicure and you've never gotten a pedicure,
then you can't.
Like,
I'm not hating on it.
It's pretty great.
It's really nice.
Feet are ticklish, though. That seems like it's
They
tough.
will tickle you to death in there.
It is
they
tough.
really. I sniggle the whole time I'm in there. I'm like, it's really, really ticklish. I do like feet. People in the chat are surprised. I've said it many times.
Sandwich talk turns into feet talk in our chat.
Like a minor foot fetishes. Minor. Very minor.
I can get on board with that.
But it exists in me.
It's there.
It's there. I will do a glance. Many men will look certain other areas. I will give a cursory look down. Not bad. Yeah. I don't know if my wife's ever caught me looking at another woman's feet, but she's going to now.
In shoes or out of shoes?
Well, in shoes. Or like in sandals. How am I going to see through their shoes?
I don't know.
She's wearing some New Balance. Well, I bet those are nice.
Of course.
Like, we're in San Diego. Everyone's in sandals and stuff. I'll give it a little look-see.
Adam Klug. Rex Ryan has entered the chat.
Yeah, good one.
All right, we'll come back. We got some Legion tickets to give away, and we're getting you ready for a roundtable coming up at the top of the hour.
How nasty his feet are, dude.
And I think I have
you
the
never
worst.
seen, he's showing them on his TNT show with the guys. He's like taking off his shoes and going, look.
Oh God, oh God, oh God.
I think I have the worst hourly sponsor read I've ever seen here.
But we love them.
Oh, no, it's not the sponsor. It's just the copy that I've gotten. But I guess I got to do it. So when we come back, Ben and Woods after traffic on 97.3 The Fan. Didn't get any basketball in really there in the Reindl Report, Paulie.
I'm so sorry.
Didn't you have all day yesterday? You could have done
I did. I talked a little basketball, and Paulie kind of gave me the evil eye, so I had to move on.
Where are we at in the series?
So, Mavs destroyed the Clippers last night, 123-93. The interesting part of that game is if the Clippers lose Game 6, it is their final game ever as the home team, at least, at Crypto.com Arena, because they're moving to their new Inglewood Intuit Dome next season. And if they don't win and force a Game 7, they're done. It's over. And they didn't have Kawhi, and Paul George was not good. James Harden was not good. So Mavericks can close out that series at home in Game 6. Celtics closed out the Heat last night with a 118-94 win. Of course, they didn't have Jimmy Butler for the series, so everyone expected that. Boston moves on. They will face the Cleveland-Orlando winner. That game is 3-2 in favor of the Cavs right now as they try to win on the road. Magic will try to force a Game 7 at home in that series. But the most interesting one is Sixers-Knicks still.
No Padres tonight. I'll watch that game tonight.
Yeah, Sixers-Knicks.
Is that Game
6 back in Philly, where the controversy has been too many Knicks fans in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
They've been taking over the arena, and everyone's wondering, well, where are the Sixers fans? Why are there so many thousands of Knicks fans coming to the games?
MSG South.
And so what I saw this, so what Philly did, the Sixers did, is they bought 2,000 of their own tickets and distributed them to like first responders and stuff for the game tonight. Specifically, I believe, to try to keep the Knicks fans who have been a problem in their own arena out for the elimination Game 6 tonight. So that's probably the most interesting game this evening with a limited baseball schedule and no Padres game tonight, that I'll be looking at Knicks Sixers as the highlight of my sports day. Are you still following the NHL playoffs? You've been doing a better job than I have.
Yeah, my beloved Dallas Stars have taken the lead in the series 3-2, Ben, over the Vegas Golden Knights. So
I was just in Vegas. They are crazy for that team.
Are.
Like everybody I was playing in that golf tournament, they were talking, every group was talking, oh, the Knights in the playoffs, are they going to win tonight? They love that team in Las Vegas. They absolutely love it.
Boston, Toronto tonight. Boston's leading 3-2. That's been pretty gnarly series.
Kings were eliminated last night by the Oilers 4-1 as well. So no more SoCal teams in the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs.
Pretty awesome.
There's your postseason update quickly. As I mentioned, we do have a couple of tickets to the SD Legion to give away. They are home this Sunday against the Dallas Jackals. Do they love Dallas? Do they talk a lot of Dallas Jackals on sports radio in Dallas in the Metroplex? Do you remember?
I didn't know they had a team.
Yeah, they've got a rugby team. They're taking on the Legion Sunday at Snapdragon Stadium. And if you're the fifth caller right now at 833-288-0973, we'll give you a pair of tickets. See the Legion and the Jackals square off in Mission Valley. You can get your own tickets by going to sdlegion.com. San Diego's rugby team, and then you've got another playoff game, right? On is it Friday or Saturday? Friday night. Seals against Albany. Tomorrow night. Albany.
Yeah, the
New
Albany
York.
Firewolves. Terrified.
Beat them in the regular season.
Yep. I'm just
on the road. So
yep, just terrified.
But this is not an elimination game. This is first game of best of 3 semifinals for the NLL playoffs.
You know the interesting part, if we win, let's say we win tomorrow at home, and then we lose in Albany. Game 3, the final game, is on Mother's Day.
Oh.
I told Hannah I might have to work a Seals game on Mother's Day. She goes, I don't care. So I'm in shape. I'm in good shape.
Mother's Day is more of a morning holiday.
Yeah.
At least in my house. It's
yeah,
kind of
it's
a
like
brunch.
you do it in the morning.
Sweating that.
You do it in the morning, but by night it's like, okay, we've moved on to something else.
And we've had so many rainouts with our adult ball this year. My commissioner texted me yesterday and said, any chance you guys can play on Mother's Day? I said, absolutely not. Now, I can get away with going to a Seals game on Mother's Day. Hey, I'm going to go play 9 with the fellas.
First?
First.
And then go?
Dead man. I mean, dead man walking. Father's Day, double middle finger. I'm going to play baseball today. No problem. Mother's Day, I'm going to go play baseball. It's not going to fly. But, so I'd like to, honestly, I'd love to win, 2 in a row and not have to worry about it, Benny.
All right. I see the callers are calling in. We're going to take our final timeout. When we come back, we can look ahead a little bit.
Why don't you set the table for the round table?
Well, no, we got a Throwback Thursday moment.
All right, we can do that too.
And we haven't spun the topic wheel in a while,
we
so
have.
we have a few minutes. We can do that as well. Last segment of Ben and Woods next here on 97.3 The Fan. I see the colleagues, the coworkers, starting to trickle in for the roundtable, San Diego Roundtable Pizza, Padres Roundtable, commercial free, coming up in just 23 minutes from our sound space. Is everybody here today?
I don't know what the roster looks like today. I have no idea. I would
the
imagine.
only one that I'd be concerned about is Tony Gwynn Jr. Did they leave after the game yesterday? Are you in Arizona? Or are they flying today because it's an off day?
I heard they were going to start
staying home
at least one extra night. Like,
but
typically they would travel right after the game on Wednesday, but
right.
I know if it's a close, not a super far flight, they're going to just do that on Thursday afternoon.
I did see Don getting on a bus.
That would lead me to believe that they left right after the game, and that Tony is then in Arizona.
We're not that. We haven't gotten that far.
You know what? We're coddling these guys.
You're coddling these guys too much. Shilton there with that boat propeller.
That was funny. You reposted. So the Oakland A's are literally the Major League Cleveland Indians. They got the best, nastiest closer in baseball.
The A's are 2.5 games out of first place with the game's best closer and an owner trying to run them out of town. We've seen this movie before. I was dead. What a brilliant tweet from
Mark
Travis.
Kotze playing the role of Lou Brown this season.
Yeah, this was a great tweet from Travis Sawchick yesterday. 26,000 likes, 3,000 retweets for Travis. That was a really good one. Really, really good one. But, yeah, they're pretty impressive.
The end of the season, you'll all be given your outright releases.
Yep. That's Kotze. I mean, for them, yeah, even you, Dork. For them, though, it's like, what, 3 more years of weird limbo? Like, they're going to be all in Sacramento
limbo, yeah.
and it's just so freaking weird.
But they're playing pretty well right now.
They are. They're not the rollover team.
Well, I
man.
think I saw Tyler Nevin has as many home runs as Manny Machado right
it's crazy,
now with
man.
4. So, yeah, good for the Oakland/Sacramento/Las Vegas A's on remaining competitive despite everything going on.
Pods did leave yesterday, so I would imagine Tony Gwynn Jr. is not going to be joining us.
Good to know. I got a long list of topics that should take us through an entire hour, no problem. All right, we're going to check traffic when we come back. Paulie's got a Throwback Thursday moment for us that that includes Eric Hosmer in this one, or at least a discussion of such.
Yeah, an unexpected name drop there.
All right, that's coming up next after traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Not too bad of a wrap-up for our morning drive. Stalled vehicle on northbound 15 at Mira Mesa Boulevard, not showing if lanes are blocked. Also crashed in the clearing stage on the 43rd Street off-ramp, northbound 805. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
We went to some phone calls earlier this week, and sometimes they just get off topic. Sometimes Woods takes his clothes off during the middle of the show. Oh, you're putting on your polo for the, guess what? I've got it on too. We can be twinsies we can be twinsies today.
Do not have it on. I'll be out of here.
So we have no like moral opposition to taking phone calls. The problem is that when someone tries to hijack the show and take it in a direction that we don't really necessarily want it to go in, and we don't have a screener like to tell them, like, okay, yeah, you can join the guys, but keep it on topic, keep it short.
Even then,
get your point,
once
and
they
let's
get
go.
on the air, they can do whatever.
That's
they
true.
want.
We can't stop you.
You don't need to mention that you were at Lane Field. It's fine.
So
right.
Paulie's got a moment. This was 2 years ago, Paulie.
2 years ago today, and you can hear the way the clip starts. The vibes are high because, as we tend to do, we had just gotten off on some tangent, and I believe it was about wedding crashing.
Okay.
And maybe there was a story in the Reindl Report, something about wedding crashing. And we started, hey, if you have ever crashed a wedding, or maybe somebody crashed your wedding, I think that would be a great story. We'd love to hear it. And we got a couple of calls, and we're rolling. And we said, all right, let's go. Next up here is Dave.
Forgot about this.
And Dave did not have any intention about talking about wedding crashing parties or anything of that sort.
Painting stories or wedding wrecker stories. 833-288-0973. Let's see what is this. Dave, you're on the air with Ben and Woods here on 97.3 The Fan. How are you?
Bro, I'm screaming.
I'm okay. I hated those stupid rumors about trading Hosmer. And last year, the slump was team-wide. They had a meltdown after the All-Star break. Right. And I'm a big Eric Hosmer fan. Big. And ooh, they were making me mad. And I was calling John Sinclair about it, and I was, I know Eric Hosmer's a dang good baseball player. And during that 16-game perfect defense record, that was good.
Did you ruin a wedding, though, Dave? That's
Who cares about
no. All right, okay, that's fine. No, it's good. Good.
Big. Good.
Big.
There's a take that really held up well the last couple of years.
Very, very
big.
very.
That
Eric Hosmer
That was
fan.
the origin of that drop.
That was good.
Is that in the Reindl Report?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was good.
Love that dude, man. Dave, I hope you're listening. I hope you're happy.
Just maybe stay on topic.
Loved his enthusiasm.
Big.
I mean, wedding crashing. Call us in.
then-
Let us know. Dave, what
I
do you...
hated that talk about trading. I'm like, what in the world?
I'm okay. I hated those stupid rumors about trading Hosmer. And last year,
We're like,
The only thing stupid
what?
was they didn't do it sooner.
Oh, spicy, man. Very spicy.
Wow, we got some topic wheel time here
It's
this
been
morning.
ages, man.
It's been a long time since we spun the topic wheel. I think this will be a nice buffer between us and the round table when we get back to a full hour of Padres
Get us
talk.
nice and
Yeah.
nice and lubed up here. I don't know what I just said.
What is your least favorite holiday?
Least favorite holiday. Well, we know Paulie loves Memorial Day.
Hey, your
There's no
big day's
party
coming
like
up.
Paulie's Memorial Day blowout.
Every year he's like, God, I love Memorial Day. I'm like,
lounging
why?
by the
It's
pool,
a sad
maybe go
day
to
of
Vegas,
remembrance.
whatever
Yeah,
you can do.
Yeah,
to
just hammered,
celebrate
just
on
having a
Memorial
ball.
Day.
If you missed that, my wedding anniversary always lands right around Memorial Day weekend. We get the 3-day weekend.
It's very fitting.
Every year. So I said it and then I didn't
That
fully
day.
play it out in my head. And I go, oh wait, never
I love
mind.
Memorial Day. Do you? You know who does? You know who doesn't? All of the people that laid down their lives for this country. Yes, Paulie.
I think I'm going to agree with your significant other, Megan. She's in the chat. It's just New Year's Eve.
Terrible.
It's
a good
really. I mean, it's just random. It just happens to be that day. But every single year, when you think about it, is a New Year's Eve. It's 1 year from the day it was a year ago. It's just the calendar all changed. We just have to buy new calendars and start all over again. It's not really that fun. And no one. I don't want to stay up until midnight anymore.
No, I
but the
don't.
9 o'clock one on the East Coast, that's stupid too. What do they do on the East Coast? Do they celebrate a 6 something that's 3 hours ahead in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean if they don't want to stay up? I don't even understand that. I think New Year's Eve is a good call.
Yeah, it's a real
least
good
favorite
one.
holiday.
Yeah, I can get behind
I see a
that.
lot of Valentine's Days in the chat.
Somebody said we already did this one. That also
Did
wouldn't
we?
surprise
Least
me.
favorite holiday? Oh, that's fine. We don't remember.
No, I don't remember anything.
You are not obligated to remember our conversations either.
Well, let me go ahead and delete that one.
All right. And spin again.
11 more minutes of this?
No, only 9.
True. Don't even remember putting this one in there. What grammatical error annoys you the most?
Now you're speaking my language. Oh, Paulie. Yes.
I mean, mine's easy.
I have 40 of them.
Do
so
you?
strap
Can I go
in.
first?
Go
then?
ahead.
Your.
Okay, that's standard.
Y-O-U apostrophe R-E versus Y-O-U-R. When people get it wrong, drives me crazy. It's so simple. It's either you are or your, as it belongs to you. It's your,
right,
your car. Or it's you are dumb. You're dumb.
Looser.
Apostrophe.
You're a looser.
Looser.
It's not a looser.
Is that a grammatical error or just a spelling error?
No, it happens all the time, especially from Dodger fans. Oh, the Padres are losers. I see it once.
Looser than what?
Yeah, looser than what? That's a really your. I mean, Hannah, I made a mistake in one of our early text threads to each other, and I corrected it immediately. And she was like, "I legit was going to delete your number because I did the wrong your and your." And I'm like, "Oh, sorry, did that wrong." I caught it immediately.
Reflects poorly.
It does. It does. That is, but the looser is trader is a good one. Trader. I've seen that one before. That guy's a trader, like stocks or bonds or.
A lot of people mess up dessert and desert.
That's a good one.
Dessert has the 2 S's. Jeter says, try being foreign. I do get that. The English language makes no sense. Like, why, when you have more than one goose, it's geese.
Right, not gooses.
But when you have more than one moose, it's mooses.
No, it's meese.
Meese?
That doesn't make any sense. How can you teach someone English when the rules make no sense whatsoever?
You're talking to a father that is trying to teach his 6-year-old how to read, and he's reading things, and he's looking at this and goes, that doesn't make any sense. I'm like, I know. This is
right.
This is one you just have to memorize now. You have to.
The one that I can't get right, and it drives me crazy because I'd like to get it right, I still don't know the difference between further and farther. And I really have trouble with that one.
Don't they both work?
I don't know.
Is it one of those weird ones in...
Mud has corrected me a couple of times on less than or fewer. I do know that one. Fewer is like a specific number, like 6 fewer runs than they scored before. And less is like, I have less water in this cup than you do. But I do understand that one, even though I occasionally make that error. But I still don't know what the difference between further and farther is.
Satan's Blowfish says, explain colonel to me. Colonel. I was playing I was playing a video game, and I got bumped up to colonel, and I yelled out with my buddy in college, "Oh, nice, I made colonel," and he has never let me forget it. Now, I knew it was colonel. It just came out at the wrong way. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But yeah, it's hard, man. You're trying to teach a kid how to read, and he's grinding through words and trying to sound them out. I'm like, forget it. This is one you need to remember.
Grace says, affect and effect.
Yeah. I think I got that
I
one.
usually get that one pretty
though.
well.
I mean,
all right.
I guess it depends. Like, what the question is, what grammatical error annoys you the most? Is that's like the one that you see if somebody were to text it to you that bothers you? That one bothers me because I don't know sometimes.
Well, so here's what I think I told you this about 6 months ago. I'm having a real hard time lately with apostrophes. Like massive.
Well, when a word ends with an S and do you put it at the end or not, I have trouble with that one too.
That I've had to Google before I send a tweet and been like, did I get this right? I sent one recently.
Your last name is Woods. With an S.
Yes.
So Woods is whatever was WOODS apostrophe.
There's no S after the second S.
And you say it like Woods. You say Woodses.
Woods.
But there's no
Woods
apostrophe
kids,
S.
Woods' kids.
Right?
Woods.
Woods kids.
Woods
No.
kids.
Woods' kids.
Woods' kids. Stevens' kids.
I need to go back and
I change things so they don't have an S at
I do
the
too.
end, so I just
I've
know
done
that
it.
I can do the apostrophe S.
I've done it in tweets. I have a really... I would like to go back to like community college for a semester and just do grammar because I've lost any skills I had. I have lost it completely. So I'll send a tweet and I'm like, that's wrong. I know it's wrong. Completely wrong. And it happens to me all the time. Well, it's Woods with an apostrophe after the S.
If something belongs to you.
us or me.
But you're not the Woodses. You're the Woods family.
We're the Woods family.
The Woods family. You're not the Woodses. Well, we're going over to the Woodses for dinner.
We're going over to the Woods house?
I would say
Doesn't
that we have
sound right.
the Woodses.
Woodsies. We're going to Woodsies.
We're going to Woodsies. Yeah.
So hard, dude.
We're going to go see Stephen and Hannah
Yeah,
tonight.
Stephen and Hannah.
And their children, Bo and Taylor.
Which will never happen.
Which is true.
Nobody's ever been invited.
No one ever
now.
gets invited to
Nope.
the Woods'
And they never
house.
will. Yeah, they never will.
All right, well, one more spin
Did you
and
read
we
all
should
your
be good to
liners,
go.
Ben?
Oh, no, I forgot the
Oh, you
liner.
hadn't done the
That's
one?
Right.
All right, strap in for this one.
This hour of Ben and Woods is brought to you by Liberty Mutual. Hi, we're comparing insurance agency. Never heard of us? We know, but to help it stick that our local agents are insurance experts, we're going to say local agents 3 times in the next 5 seconds. Local agent, local agent, local agent. Find us at comparinginsurance.com. Can't I just say like Liberty Biverty or Limu Emu or something if we're going to do Liberty Mutual? Local agent, local agent, local agent. There, I got it. I did it.
Great job.
Thanks.
Speak of grammar. What word are you tired of hearing?
Cringe.
It's not bad.
Him.
I'm him.
Oh, he's him. Is he?
You can't ever stop saying him, though. That's just a common
Just
word.
the way it's been used.
Yeah.
Real Lock says, you're wasting time with your stupid topic wheel. Yeah, bud, we got an hour of Padres talk coming up next, so I don't know what to tell you. Change the station. right? I mean, I'm over it at this point. Like, what do you want me to do?
Ooh, therapist Sam woke.
Woke. Yeah, God, it's tired. Everything is tired.
I mean, whatever you kind of believe in, the word woke is definitely terrible and way overused now.
Yeah, cringe happens a lot on social media. That's cringe.
I don't like it's more of a phrase now, but I keep hearing you used to say
tip your hat to the pitcher is a good one. Yeah, I'm tired of that one.
Good one.
Yep.
You used to hear people say like, "Oh, it's giving creeper vibes." Now people just say it's giving creeper.
They do?
Yeah.
I have not heard that. They really do?
Like you're
You
insinuating
youngsters.
the word vibes.
Wow.
But I every time I hear that I go, ooh.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's a thing.
It's giving creeper. You're giving perv.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Ben's giving pervy.
I did not know that. I had no idea that that was actually a thing. That sucks.
Very weird.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
is
like
weird. All right. We out of here yet?
I still got another minute.
Let's just
let's waste some more
let's just
time.
meditate for a moment
Fine
and
by me.
prepare ourselves for a roundtable for the next hour. If you do want me to tease just a little
give
bit
me a little
of what's
taste.
coming up on the roundtable,
Ben gives weird kid.
we will be evaluating. Well,
Somebody said beloved. No, beloved will never go away.
We just heard from Jeff Passan this morning that the Padres are one of the biggest disappointments in baseball this season. I am actually planning on asking everybody, though, what has been the most pleasant surprise for you this Padres season, and what has been the biggest concern through 1 month, essentially 1 month, slightly plus, of the baseball season. I think there are multiple candidates. I think, obviously Xander Bogaerts has been a concern, and he'll probably get some votes. But in terms of pleasant surprises, I think there's definitely a number of options that you can choose on the San Diego Padres. So we'll be discussing that, and I will have a seventh inning stretch. Our non-Padres related question will be bug related after the bee incident.
How much time did you guys do on the bees yesterday?
Very little.
All right, good.
I think it came. Do this was them letting him throw out the first pitch. We thought.
They made
All
him
right.
his own baseball card now.
Now,
Because
really?
Of course
They've overdid it.
Yeah, as
They've
they always
overdid
do.
it. All right, Roundtable's coming up next. We'll talk to you, Ben and Woods, tomorrow morning at 6 on 97.3 The Fan.